Yo. You're my biggest fan. Thank you. The world's largest fan. Nobody's bigger. What's up, guys? How we doing? Scary stories about my profession. Are you a trucker, Bagul? How did I not know that? Either way, you guys are right on time. Welcome, welcome to the recording of the next episode. I'm hoping this one I don't get berated as hard as the last one. The Expo convention video did not do very well. We were being lambasted by the community. I'm your favorite narrator. Thanks, Robert. Good to see you. How's everybody doing? What's new? Can you tell me something? Tell me something. Ask me something. Say anything. We need to... I came completely unprepared except for the stories. I literally just came into existence yesterday. Could you please shout out for Elise? Hello, Elise. How goes it? Good to see you guys. Should we look up some positive news? Basically, the first 10 minutes here, we'll just let people roll on in. What's your favorite type of story subject to tell? I just like paranormal, man. Paranormal's cool. Even though I have some strange paranormals. Every time I read them, something weird happens. I'm probably opening a gateway that I shouldn't. Oh, I never heard this in the background of these types of songs before. You hear that? Oh, you like the Expo stories? Okay, good. Yeah, I thought they were fun. Just a little bit annoying. I don't know. If you guys do send in stories, try to... I mean, you can say whatever you want to say in it, but just know that some people will give you a big raft of crap if you get too sidetracked or too many opinions. Saw Spider-Man yesterday. It was really good. Spider-Man was good. I really enjoyed it. 2 truths and a lie. Would you ever tell your own stories? I've told some of my own. I feel like I don't have a lot of... I wish I had more life experiences, maybe. Maybe not necessarily anything scary, but I feel like some of the people with the most life experiences are the most interesting. And I'll be honest with you, my life experiences are relatively sparse as far as anything interesting worth talking about. I'm getting 2 wisdom teeth pulled out tomorrow morning. This will be the first time getting teeth pulled out of my mouth. I'm freaking scared. Nothing to be scared about. Just, I feel like I got it done when I was like 18, which was, it's a long ass time ago. Oh my god, it was like literally it was literally like a whole 18 years ago, which is fucking wild. A whole nother lifetime has gone by since then. But it also feels like life just got started, maybe. I don't know. I have no fucking clue. Cassandra, I'm going to the dentist in Mexico tomorrow. Scared as fuck. Really? You going over there just because it's cheaper? Do they put you to sleep for that, or they numb your gums? Yeah, they'll put you to sleep or get anesthesia for, most likely for taking out wisdom teeth. I do believe. Joel, do you feel like you grew up sheltered in life? Definitely. I mean, I had like the basic, like the most generic existence of like 2 parents, safe area, no bullshit. I mean, like, my brothers got in trouble all the time dealing drugs and stuff like that, but I don't know, I guess I was kept far away from that, you know, and that was much younger, so I was able to miss all that crap, I guess, but then I was able to go to college, and then I went to college, and that was pretty normal and boring and hard. And then I got a job, and yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't necessarily say sheltered, but definitely sort of protected from, or like basically kept away from all the hood rat shit, you know what I'm saying? I'm happy to say that I'm starting university tomorrow, age 31. I know age is not a factor with that, but if you ask me what I'll be doing when I'm 31, I'd tell you something different. Well, that's alright. I mean, as long as you're going for something that you feel is going to get you a good return in the end. What are you going to university for? They didn't use anesthesia on you. Huh, interesting. Yeah, I just remember, like, counting backwards from 10 and then waking up, like, half a second later. And they're like, and we're done. And I'm like, what? I don't know. And I, like, literally felt, like, ready to, like, rock and roll, ready to drive. It's close and cheap and good. I did too much meth in the past, killed my teeth. Wow. Yeah, you didn't even need to get your wisdom teeth pulled. They just fall out on their own. 3-hour training, need some decent sleep. Just wanted to, oh yeah, no worries. Be sure to get your sleep. Sleep is the most important thing in the world. It is kind of strange that we waste like 1/3 of our life sleeping for the most part, maybe a little bit less. I got laughing gas and anesthesia for wisdom teeth. Okay, they really had to knock you out. Joker style. Scarecrow style. But yeah, weekend was good. I mean, what the hell did I even do? This was supposed to be a weekend of like going to different things, but a buddy of mine, it's like we were gonna go to this like card show like 6 hours or so away, and then he or his wife picked up a shift, and then there was nobody to watch the kids, so he had to not go. So that was kind of lame, but it's whatever. And then there was another trip that I was supposed to go on, but then they had some sort of interpersonal drama, so I don't know. I feel like I'm always like low-key the one without any fucking... There's so many people you just interact with, they just like have no peace in their life, and you just like wonder why, you know? What's your favorite type of stories for compilation? Yeah, definitely paranormal. I enjoyed those paranormal military ones. Those were sick. I keep seeing so many clips, people getting robbed at card shows. Yeah, that would suck. Am I mad at his wife? No. I mean, she just either spaced or had something going on. It's all good. I mean, sometimes you're almost like relieved a little bit, where you're like, oh, okay, I don't have to do anything. You know, it's like you want to do a thing, but you also like just like don't want to do anything. Just stick to your routines. When I got my gallbladder taken out, they put me to sleep. Obviously, it was the best sleep I had after a baby was born. Maybe you just need that every night. A CPAP machine with like anesthesia that slowly pumps in there. But yeah, guys, we got trucker stories tonight. 3 of those, I believe. I'll have to double check. But it's gonna be good. You just wait. We're back on track. Back on quack. Canceling plans is the best ever. It's a good feeling. I turned 37, sleeping is what I live for nowadays, you know, besides the gym and getting jacked. How's the gym going for you? It's pretty good. I mean, like, I go like 4 or 5 days a week. It's just, it's one of those things where like right now the biggest thing I can do is like lean down, you know? And I have no problem like working out, putting in the time. But it's just one of those things where it's so hard to like outpace a cheat day, you know what I mean? Or something like that. Like today, I don't know why, I just went with my friend to get like cheesesteaks and fucking basically blizzards at this like local place, you know, ice cream related. And I'm not saying it like completely fucks me, but I mean like objectively speaking, that's probably like 3,000 calories total. All that shit. Back again, but you say you're awesome. I appreciate you. My life is so busy. I have no breaks. It's all gas. Much love from the great nice. Hey, no problem. Thank you. Sometimes it's good to just keep going. Hopefully you get some rest though. I'm a trucker, got called into work on my day off, so trucking today. Hell yeah. Mother truckers, let's get it, actually. Let's just get into it, speaking of which. As always, here is the playlist linked in the chat there for you. You should do a marathon of stories live for Halloween, bro. That'd be awesome. That would be interesting. I wonder how long that we would go for that. Joel watches his figure. You kind of have to, you know what I mean? Like, for me, it's like, dude, I'm not kidding. It's like margins of error. Like, if I fuck anything up, it's like my body like starts cascading in one direction and just doesn't really recover. It's very frustrating. It's like, if you can make progress, it's cool, but it's like to stick with that like locked in progress all week through the weekend, do it again. You know, it's just like you just got to do it over and over and over again. It's just so fucking boring, but I don't know. It is what it is. Happy Sunday. Hope all is well. With me and my mom are going to a farm on Tuesday playing some Pidgeys. That'd be fun. Wisdom teeth, smisdom teeth. Had 2 pulled and went to work. Really? I guess honestly, yeah. I mean, you can definitely go to work. It's just, have you ever done witch-themed stories? I feel like I've had stories tangentially related where people claim to be witches or say witchy things. I love the switch up in casual joy voice to serious business. Metava Gaming, thank you for the 2. Have you considered reading horror stories for Halloween like pen pals or other things? Horror stories for Halloween like pen pals. Like, what would pen pals be? Like people sending stuff back and forth to each other? But sometimes it's a creepy old man. It's EDP 665. He's 665 pounds now. Man, I had a bunch of crazy trucker stories when my home dive bar was next to a truck stop. Oh God, I can imagine. That's why I quit my gyms. I have to work out with real activities. I mean, you definitely can. It's just, to get the same stimulation from real life is just difficult, you know? Do you eat any junk food at all? Yeah, I was just saying I had like a big-ass cheesesteak and fucking like Blizzard earlier, you know, style thing. And I feel like, I mean, it's amazing in the moment. And you can just like keep going, but then afterwards you're like, I am a big pile of poop shit. Anyways, guys, we got 3 stories tonight. Thank you for being here. Consider doing audiobooks would be perfect for, and I'm assuming better pay. No, audiobooks are not better pay. If you have like an established kind of YouTube situation. YouTube podcast shit is just too good, and I'm not like bragging or anything. I'm just saying like it just doesn't make financial sense to put the large amount of hours into an audiobook and the expectation. Was that me and the wife were watching from Indiana? New puppy. What kind of puppy did you get? One of them was hitting on me super hard because I had longer hair under a beanie in February. My buddy had to step in and we got the guy kicked since that was our bar. Good. I had a cheesesteak too, Joel. Just no bread. Oh, okay. Oh, that's, yeah. Honestly, that's half the battle right there. Just finished eating some strawberries dipped in melted chocolate. Fuck you guys. Damn. Okay. Anyways, 3 stories. Let's get at it. Say whatever you want tonight. Ask whatever you want. We're here to have fun. Be nice to each other. And yeah, let's do it. I used to work at a truck stop here in Texas from 1977 to 1980. I was 18, fresh out of high school, and I needed cash bad. So when my dad told me about an upcoming vacancy at a truck stop paying $180 a week, I just about fell over myself trying to get to the phone so I could give the place a call. Now, y'all might not remember with all the inflation that's come since, but $180 a week back then was a sweet chunk of change to empty trash cans and clean toilets. So when they invited me to show up for an interview, I showed up in a shirt and a tie borrowed from my dad, and even a little pen and pocket protector just to advertise that I was serious, you know. But then after borrowing my brother's car and taking the 45-minute drive to where the stop was, I realized why they were offering so much money, because the place seemed sketchy as hell. Now it sat out past the last ranch road, no town for miles and miles either direction, and when the wind would kick up dust, you could expect to see a tumbleweed or 2 roll across the lot like some old-timey western. Now the place didn't even have an actual name on the sign anymore, just a sort of faded sign that said gas, food, beds. And everyone either called it the crap stop or the last chance because it was your last chance for gas, smokes, and a place to sleep for a long, long way. Now, at night, the only lights were the buzzing neon over the pumps, along with the yellow bug lights around the diner windows. The inside smelled like diesel, stale grease, cigarettes, and that particular mix of sweat and desperation you only get when people are a long way from home. And then outside, thanks to all the lot lizards, as they're called, these drug addicts and... Oops. In that case, I'm happy for you. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, audiobooks would be fun. I mean, it might be interesting to just... funny you say that, because I did get a message on my ACX account. I mean, I don't even use it. I made it like literally over a decade ago. ACX is where you can like audition to be a voiceover for, or an audiobook person for self-published books on Audible. And I got a message on there, but I didn't even check it because I just assume it's going to be like, hey, we want you to be in our gay, erotic werewolf novel, you know what I mean? Talk about big, throbbing fucking red rockets. And I could not be fucked to give a shit about any of that stuff. I've been a trucker for 17 years, been listening to you every day while I drive 600 to 700 miles a day. And thank you, brother. When I see you do trucker stories and I get excited. Nice, man. Yeah. If you ever get a chance, since you have to sit a lot, be sure to strengthen your, what's it called? The abductor muscles. Like do the glute things at the gym. Get your stretches in, because shit's rough. You ever painted your nails? You said ask whatever you want. Yeah, I don't care if you ask. I don't care. No, I mean, I guess like maybe one of my friends' kids had painted my nails at some point or whatever, just for fun. Maybe in school I might have taken like a black marker and painted it, and then my dad sees I do it one day and he's like, "You're going to fucking gay camp." And that's all it took. It's crazy, when they send you to gay camp, it's a lot of gay people there. Audiobooks for hearing impaired people aren't as popular as you might think. I imagine so. Maybe they could make them where it's like braille, but you like feel the braille like rub across your face or something like that. Or like, oh my god, imagine like tactile headphones where you put the headphones on and then it sort of I don't even know, like releases some sort of tactile, like braille type thing into your ear. Am I made at you? Why would I be made at you? I feel like I've been asked that before in chat, like am I mad at someone? But I mean, I'll be honest with you guys, like it's essentially kind of impossible for me to like be specifically mad at a single person in there. The way just Joe, were you roommates with Chills, like secret best friends? Yeah, we're secret buddies. I would die for Chills. We both went to the same camp together. We protected each other from the counselors. Headphones that translate everything to Morse code. Yeah, it's just really loud. Beep, 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 beep. Didn't 4chan hijack a contest and send Taylor Swift to perform at a school for deaf kids? Dude, I hope that's fucking real. That sounds like the greatest thing ever. I also low-key kind of feel like the same demographic that's like obsessed with Taylor Swift in like a cult-like way are the same ones to accuse people of being like parasocial with people on the internet, you know, like random YouTubers, but then somehow not be able to see like the parasocial nature of naming their kid Kelsey Taylor or some shit like that, you know. Hey, sorry if there's been an answer, but I really love the videos that you have rain backgrounds. Any chance you'll resume the bleakish rain noise compilation? Yeah, I can get the rain back involved for sure. I can probably get it involved tomorrow's video if I can remember. Maybe I'm gonna pin your comment just so I don't forget. And then I'll see it enough times and then maybe it'll be pounded into my head. You mentioned wanting kids. You seem to be it in terms of how fucked the world is. Are you ever worried you might have kids and regret it if things take a turn for the worst? Oh yeah. I mean, I still think it's worth like giving yourself that like long-term natural purpose through the process of, you know, just having kids, you know what I mean? But yeah, there's many terrifying things that run through my head pertaining to, will the person I have them with be like a total piece of hell? You know, will having them in general, will they end up, I don't know, having issues, or I'm just like, oh fuck, you know? And then will they wake up one day and want to kill me, or, you know, be influenced by like some weird shit online that makes them insane, you know what I mean? Just so much shit like that. But I still feel like, you know, as long as you're involved and try your best, you know, things should work out. What's up, Catherine? Joey never texts back. Our asocial relationship is falling. That's how it goes sometimes. Pray for my bro. He married a white woman and got turned into a Swiftie. His cat's name is Maleficent Godzilla Princess Taylor. It is kind of weird sometimes watching like people, I mean, as long as I guess it's just like chill, but sometimes observing people completely change for their women is very, very weird to me. Never have kids. I'm glad you didn't, with the way the world is. Yeah, but honestly, in like a weird way, when I look back, like the world was way worse, you know? And you live in a place that and as long as you have like laws that, you know, is one of the laws, don't kidnap my kids or hurt my kids. And if that's the case, then, I mean, just look out for them and you'd be good. But yeah, I think it does constantly fill you with like a state of anxiety a little bit. What compelled you to start this podcast? I discovered you from Mort videos when everyone in the comments was excited about hearing your voice. Ever since I've been hooked. Yeah, I just wanted to have a YouTube channel, you know, and it just worked. Tried this, making scary stories, and it worked out. I saw a video where this one guy had used the auto dub feature where he said switch to a certain language, and the entire video was a whole different audio track. I wonder if you could take advantage. I think I do have that active on my channel, I believe. Maybe you guys can double check. That's why I'm raising my son in a small town with good old-fashioned values. It's hard, but he's a good kid. Yeah, I mean, you know it's going to be a small community, and as long as you look out for him, all that kind of stuff, I imagine it's going to be a pretty simple life, and I don't see any issues. Different audio dubs, same language, just different background noise. Oh, interesting. Then outside, thanks to all the lot lizards, drug addicts, and psycho truckers that rolled through, things could get real sketchy at night. Sometimes you'd hear a fight break out by the payphones or see a car full of kids from the nearest town pull in looking for trouble. Some nights it felt like the whole world had forgotten that stretch of highway even existed. Other nights it felt like everything that was wrong with the road eventually rolled through those doors. I did a little of everything, whatever the boss needed. He was an old-timer named Charlie, a man who kept a smile on his face and a sawed-off under the register. He made a lot of money from that place, and since it was tough going, he appreciated hard work enough to pay as well as he did. Now, I'd see the same faces every week, and not just my coworkers either. The place had a whole bunch of regulars that stopped by whenever they were out on the job. There was a guy named Big Earl, a hauler out of Odessa who ran chemicals and God knows what else. And then there was that quiet Mexican guy everyone called Pepe. And he came town... Pepe the Frog. Pepe Le Pew. Mike and Ike, welcome back for 13 minutes. What up, my man? What's up, bro? How we doing? I was nervous wreck when I had my two cats, always scared something would happen to them. Spoiler, one of them got eaten by a coyote. Damn, dude. Yeah, I guess you would have to... Were they indoor cats or just outdoor cats? The outdoor cat life expectancy is just so sad. Then there was that quiet Mexican guy everyone called Pepe. He came through every Tuesday like clockwork and never said more than 10 words. But then my favorite, everyone's favorite in fact, was this guy Bull. Bull's name was Bill, but got his name after sticking up to some kids picking on his disabled brother one time after school. Bull's little brother had some kind of palsy or something which made it so he couldn't talk right. And so whenever he called his name out, it sounded like he was yelling, "Bull, Bull," and not Bill. Now those two crap kickers came along and started making fun, asking what kind of name Bull was. Well, young Bill steps up, a couple of years older than the two bully kids, and he responds, "Yeah, my name's Bull, and you make fun of my brother again, and me and you are gonna have beef." Now seeing those two bullies walk off scared like that made his little brother smile so much that he started calling himself Bull full time. And every time he did, his little brother would just get the hint of a smile across his face. He was just that kind of guy, Wuzzle. He was just that kind of guy, old Bill. Old bullshit. What's up, Susie Q? What's up, C-Money? Candace Owens is a lavender marriage, but I was just asking questions. What's lavender? I know it definitely seemed coordinated in some way. It's a very weird marriage. Just did a 50-plus hour work week at my new job that I've had a restaurant for over a month now. Jesus, 50 hours. Indoor with a little outdoor, but we live on a farm. Oh, damn. Do you use a button where you begin to read so you don't have to spend so much time editing? How the fuck do you separate you talking chat versus reading the story? There's just two. I have two separate microphones. And yeah, so like the separate microphone, I like click record and it starts and then stop and it, and it creates a series of files in a row on like a separate drive. And then I just will edit those later. Did you actually get sent to a conversion camp as a kid? No, I was just joking. Sometimes I'd just be saying silly scenarios. Having kids now, zombies, new pandemics, mass starvation. I don't know if any of those really happen, to be honest with you. Any thoughts on me naming my black cat Lucifer? Be careful what you invite in. It might not leave. He was just that kind of guy, old Bull was. A man who looked like his mother was Ron Howard and his father was a grizzly bear. Big red beard, big red cheeks, like Santa Claus in sweatpants and a cap. Big red beard, big red cheeks, like Santa Claus in sweatpants and a backwards cap. And he even extended that courtesy to the local addicts and lot lizards, particularly this girl named Dottie. Obviously, Dottie was a prostitute. Maybe we can say lady of the night. So, Dottie was a lady of the night. Grew up in a broken, abusive home and must have been around the same age as me, so 18 or 19. It'd also be quicker to list the things that she wasn't addicted to. Boss man Charlie let her hang out and turn tricks purely because he felt sorry for her and could at least keep an eye on her whenever she was at work. She worked a lot too because, truth be told, she was a very beautiful young woman. She had golden blonde hair, bright blue eyes, and legs that went up and up and up. Most truckers saw her for what was between her legs, but Bull said she reminded him of his grown-up daughter and was always making sure she got something to eat since all the money Dottie made either went into her arm or up her nose. Bull was popular with the regulars too, especially Pepe, who'd sit and listen to him talk without so much as saying a word in response. But not everyone appreciated how gregarious he was, and the same could be said for the now fella that showed up one evening. Lucifer. There you go, that's a good one. It's actually fair advice, Joel. Naming the kid Lucifer might not be the best idea. I don't know. I've become superstitious in my old age. Some people still care about what others think about them. Yeah, I guess, what is the reasoning for that? You know what I mean? Why do we care so much? I guess it's all because we kind of like low-key maybe want something from them. And I guess in many ways it's like a sense of identity or a sense of we want to attract something. I'm not really sure. Joe, what do you think of someone interviewing while having a parakeet AI that gives you the answers during the call? Probably wouldn't be the greatest thing to do. Because, I mean, what if you're just like wildly underprepared for the job itself? I've been listening for a couple of years, and this feels hella weird. Feels like commenting and interrupting the movie. This is really cool what you're doing here, and it's saying it's not behind paywall. Oh yeah, I mean, I just don't have enough people to put it behind paywall, you know what I mean? I mean, some people donate, and I always appreciate that, but honestly, this just gives me, like, structure to, like, my workflow, you know? And gives me something to do, because it does get a little, like, repetitious. Tribal attributes from our ancestors. I mean, yeah, what other reason would there be to, like, want people to, like you? You want to be accepted by some sort of hypothetical tribe, to the extent that, like, if they didn't like you, right, you would miss out on what? Like, you could get ostracized from the group, which could result in getting hurt, or you couldn't get to pass on your genes or whatever, you know, through the sort of natural desire to procreate and all that kind of stuff. So that's where it all kind of assumedly stems from. I mean, it certainly makes sense, even if that's not exactly the case. But if you can turn that part of your brain off, I mean, more props to you. I think school in general F's us up, the whole hierarchy of crap. It is kind of weird sometimes to think, like, they just kind of, like, invented school. I mean, it's cool to, like, have people that know a lot of things, and we progress forward, and now we have, like, 7-Eleven and fucking highways and shit. Like, that's awesome. But at the same time, sometimes you just think about how many kids just go to school just basically wasting their existence. I mean, granted, they would have wasted it in the streets and, like, probably been in the woods, like, shooting bows and arrows at each other. But it's just like one big government daycare for the most part, right? And that government daycare is going to eventually just teach them what whoever pays the government the most tells them to teach. What's up, Tristan? Welcome back, Batman. You know, I used to feel like that. After I hit 35, I couldn't care less about people liking me. I'd want dogs to like me, though. Dogs are pretty awesome. School prepares people to work. I mean, it makes sense, too. Just puts them in this, like, ongoing daycare where you give them busy work, and then they get older and you give them more busy work, and they're just, I mean, yeah, they're just used to a sort of degree of hierarchy. And I kind of like how things are now, you know? I mean, if there's something you want to change, then you just got to go change it. Complaining, I guess, never really does much. Maybe it'll give somebody an idea, somebody who does something. The Rothschilds apparently pay the most. Yeah, I mean, I heard the Rockefellers are pretty heavily involved in our schooling, or really any educational system, all the way up to, like, med school. But not everyone appreciated how gregarious he was, and the same could be said for the new fellow that showed up one evening around sundown. We used to get new faces showing up all the time, and whenever they did, we tried to make them feel welcome if they were open to being welcomed. We made a lot of new friends that way. Some even became regulars and made the last chance a regular stop. Others were just passing through, and some were even a little unkeen on the kind of hospitality we had to offer, including the man who walked in one night and didn't say a word to anyone besides ordering a black coffee and a breakfast plate. Now, we didn't poke around or prod him any, but when he walked through those doors of the diner and the likes of Bull and Big Earl gave him a big, warm howdy, he didn't so much as return a nod. To me, the guy had a kind of darkness about him, something it was hard to put my finger on. He had dark hair, dark eyes, dark clothes, but that's not what creeped me out. It was like he had a dark aura about him, like he was the villain in some kind of old John Ford picture, and right from the second, he just stared at Bull and Big Earl, and we knew we weren't going to be fast friends. There was a kind of tension in the air the whole time he was there, and it didn't stop when he finished his plate and walked out the doors of the diner either, because the first two things he laid eyes on after walking outside were Dottie's legs. Pepe wasn't there at the time, but if he was, he'd have given his head a shake for sure. Everyone worried about Dottie, but as much as folks had tried to stop earning Same enigma. I have 0 friends. I'm okay with that. 0 friends? Really? What do you do? Do you not talk to anybody? You gotta have some friends, right? What's up, JK? What's up, Baphomet? Anyone else feed keep jumping and glitching? Damn, man. I wish I could figure out how to make this like more stable for people. It seems like, I don't know. What if you know the job, but chances are there could be one question that could catch you off guard? I mean, I just say wing it, man. I don't say cheat, because there might be, I don't even know what you're talking, like the parakeet thing you're talking about. I just wouldn't risk, you know, them being able to tell it's active on your background or something like that. Especially, I think you work in like IT stuff, don't you? So presumably those would be like auto-detected or various things like immediately being able to determine what you're running in the background. I talk to people in lives, but that's about it. I keep people at arm's length. Interesting. What's up, Ari? I learned and realized today you always a what? Joe, if you have dogs, you need no one else to talk to. I don't know if that's true. I think that's a subjective experience, unfortunately. No friends means you just hang out by yourself. Yeah, no. I know that. But I mean, like, don't you want to not hang out by yourself? Like, I mean, you can do whatever you want. I have no issue with it. Anybody does. I get very lonely and I need to be around people. Mystery, thank you for the 2, says your live's my favorite ever on YouTube lately. Thank you, Mystery. It's very kind of you to say. I recently got into Dark Somnia Creator, where he has insane background audio soundscapes. Do you ever feel the urge to delve into that type of story narration? It's entirely different for sure. Like creepypastas and stuff. I mean, I did it in the past, and I do it on like bonus content. And I would have no issue, you know, doing longer ones. It's just that I'm like kind of existing within this niche right now. So it's a little bit harder to kind of go over towards like the horror fiction stuff, you know. Because people, I mean, sometimes I do it. Honestly, a lot of adults don't have friends. I totally get it, though. It's freaking hard as you get older. I talked to coworkers and family members. I have been abandoned by friends in the past when I was at my lowest, and I refused to open back up to myself to go through that again. Yeah, I've been actively avoiding my family and friends for years. Oh, okay. Everyone's getting away, finding a home online. That's fair. Hey, sorry if this has been answered, but I really love the videos. ... What's the ... Oh, wait. Oh, I'm literally reading the pinned comment. You ever get a place in a serious story that's worded weird and have to stifle a laugh? Yeah, sometimes. I gotta do some on-the-fly edits for stuff to make sense. Everyone worried about Dottie, but as much as folks had tried to stop her earning money that way, she always found her way back outside, dancing to whatever music was blaring from the truckers' cabs as they pulled up to the pumps. Everyone learned that the best thing to do whenever Dottie was negotiating was just turn a blind eye. It was that, or you'd worry yourself sick about her, but the last time I looked up from what I was doing, I saw Dottie and the man in black walking off towards the sleeper of his truck. Now, I guess maybe 30 minutes went by and we're all expecting Dottie to show back up with some wad of cash to use the payphone to call whoever she was buying from at that current moment. But when the man in black's truck lights lit up and he started pulling out of the parking lot, there was no sign of Dottie anywhere. It was Big Earl that first brought it up, right as that man in black's truck hit the highway and took off. And then after a couple of minutes of everyone getting more and more concerned, it was Bull that got up to go look for her. Always suspected the man in black had... We all suspected. We all smirked. Dottie has been kidnapped. I live with some of my besties, which isn't for everyone, but if you find the right mix and everyone communicates as adults, it's great. I have my own space, my own life. But we can meet up whenever. That is nice, yeah, just to have them, like, close. I wouldn't mind. It'd be kind of sick to, like, live on, like, sort of a big-ass compound of sorts or, like, a little village. I mean, obviously you can live in the same town as friends, but it would be really cool to have your whole, like, a whole-ass house to yourself. And who's the lady putting her Instagram story to us to stream? Oh, it was just the background of the music. That's my AI girlfriend. I've gone insane. You know, it's weird being at home, not talking to anyone for days, and then someone's calling you and hearing your voice for the first time in a few days. It's so weird. Yeah, I've seen that meme. It's pretty funny. Or like you haven't heard yourself in a while, so you're just like, hey, Like fucking Patrick Star caveman from SpongeBob when they go backwards like 400 million years. Hello. It says the AI is not detected. I'll wing it with the AI and see what happens. What are you talking about? We all suspected the man in black had done something bad. But people got that feeling almost every time Dottie went off to do business with some trucker we didn't know. So we were used to having that feeling disappear whenever we saw Dottie with some money in her hand and a smile on her face. And so you can only imagine our horror when Bull burst back into the diner a few minutes later with wet boots, yelling for us to call 911. He'd looked all over for her, by the payphone, around back where she liked to snort and shoot up, and he even checked the ladies' bathroom just in case. But he found her in the men's showers. She'd been beaten so bad that it looked like she was dead. Her legs were in this unnatural position and were covered in red marks where it looked like they'd been stamped on. But it was her head that had me almost puking up the crappy coffee that I'd been drinking. Someone had kicked her in the face. Joel, have you traveled any countries? Went to Jamaica, Dominican Republic, and Haiti. How you know I'm from Dominican Republic? Canada, the great nation of Hawaii. Just kidding. But I have been there. Went to Australia. I haven't been to the UK or Europe or Africa or, Asia or Russia or anything like that, but be cool. I don't know. I'm not much of a traveler. Anytime I ever go anywhere, it's just like people being like, hey, you want to do this? And I'm like, sure. I'm usually not one to say no to anything. I'm just not really one to like self-motivate to like have a degree of wanderlust, I almost like need somebody else to have it, and then I just like go along for the ride. But yeah. My best friend and I spent 7 hours together today, and we all laughed about everything. That's good. It's always a good feeling. What meme? But yeah, it's hilarious talking again, and it feels like illegal. You're like, where am I? Do you work from home, Ari? Joe, if we made fan art as backgrounds for your videos, would you actually use them? Can we all send you our art and tell us if it's good, like a hive mind dad? A hive mind dad. Yeah, send it in. Let's read submissions@gmail.com. Don't send any AI art. I mean, if you think it's cool AI art, I'll look at it, but if you make something, it'd be cool if it was your actual stuff. Someone had kicked her face in. Someone had kicked her face in like they'd been using her head for a field... Jesus. This is a bit crazy. Someone had kicked her face in like they'd been using her head for field goal practice. I mean, to the point where you wouldn't even know it was Dottie unless you knew the outfit she was wearing. And there was blood everywhere, diluted from someone having turned on one of the showers to wash their hands or something else. We tried getting her to wake up, but while she still had a pulse, she was still out cold when the EMT showed up, and that was a very ugly scene, let me tell you. Camila, the cook who worked the night shifts, was in floods of tears as the ambulance drove away. Big Earl was practically screaming at the cops, telling them to go chase down the man in black before he crossed state lines, and the whole thing had to be handed off to the feds. Bull, on the other hand, did what Bull was born to do. He went around trying to calm folks down, reassuring them that Dottie had a better chance of survival than anyone thought, and that son of a bitch who did that to her would end up dying in jail. Because Lord knows that man-killers and bank robbers didn't take kindly at all to those who beat defenseless young women half to death. The mood around the last chance was a heavy one for the next few days. All the regulars who showed up asked if we knew how Dottie was doing, and Charlie, who was in touch with the hospital that she was at, had to tell them all the same thing. Still out, no improvement. Cops ain't managed to put a collar on the guy who did it neither. Big Earl was about ready to put a posse together to go hunting down the bastard who beat Dottie down like that. But luckily for him, as in the man in black, the cops got to him long before Earl ever could. It was 'cause for much celebration, as y'all can imagine, even if Dottie wasn't awake yet, knowing her would-be killer was in custody would be a great weight off of everyone's shoulders. Now, we weren't exactly smiling again, but we sure as hell walked around with these little balls of dark rage thumbing in our chests like second hearts. And we waited for news of a confession, a hearing, or even a trial date being set. But in the end, when the news hit us that the man in black had been released, it was like a bomb hit us. Apparently, the man denied the charges with all the fury a man might expect from someone innocent, and was willing to submit all kinds of forensic tests to prove that he was just that. He had admitted to paying Dottie for her services, and was happy to plead guilty to any related charge, but when it came to the horror that had been inflicted on her, he swore to God that he was guiltless. We heard the cops finally released him after they managed to pull a partial boot print off of Dottie's skull. And you read right by that way. Someone kicked her so hard and so many times that the tread of their boot showed up as this perfect pattern of bruising on her skin. Sorry, sometimes I'm like holding my mouse and accidentally click it. Mice with flowers and teacups sounds super nice. That does sound nice. And my favorite and remember is the chalupa chabre is available at Taco Bell. I just wanted to say it'd be comfy to have no friends or be alone, I understand, but it isn't safe. I don't want anything happening to any of y'all. Y'all don't have someone you can count on. I mean, it definitely is good to have. When I worked at a gas station, the lot lizards always visited in the middle of the night and made a mess of the hot dog section. They always got the condiments all over the counter. Those bitches loved hot dogs. Joel equals hive daddy. Yes, that's what he should be. So is a hive daddy, is that like a queen bee, but with a wiener? Justin, what's up, bro? My favorite Spaniard. You don't believe that Pradeep is a black cat? You can check my Instagram. You'll see him there first thing. Do you also have dogs or just the cat? Just the cat. Dogs are awesome though, man. I do want a dog. I just worry that it would be like I wouldn't be able to be like super available for him all the time. In the sense of like, I don't know. Pradeep gets very jealous or very frustrated that he doesn't get to exist on my shoulders or on my chest at all times anyways. So, hi Jorp, your IG scares me. How come? I don't even post on it. Heart-eating narrator, you give me access to a tranquility deeper than a monk who deep-sea dives on the side, and I love you for it. Oh, thank you, Liz. It's very kind of you to say. King bee with a weenie. That's awesome. With a huge stinger. I saw a bee today, I don't even know, I was on Instagram actually, but I saw like a wasp that attacked this giant spider, and then it like, instead of like picking it up and flying, it like dragged the spider all the way to a tree, and then up a tree. I don't know, it was wild. Did you know that Joel's secretly a psychic Pokemon that's pretending to be human, and that's why he does not want us to be on camera? Hypno. I feel like a dweeb. I didn't even know Joel had an Instagram. It's okay. I mean, it's like my only social media. I just post my story, so anybody who's like really wants to make it to the streams can see that first on the off chance YouTube doesn't notify them. No lie, I used to think about that when I lived alone with my cat for many years. If you accidentally croak, nobody would even know if you don't have any friends or fam. Well, I don't know, you're dead, so it doesn't really matter if anybody knows, right? It's more about, do you live life to the fullest in the moment than some sort of like posthumous stuff. I heard like, it was like Louis C.K. I just heard his stand-up comedy come up, but it was just so fucking funny talking about how, you know, like an older woman, or like the dad dies, and is, you know, like the fucking, her husband dies, and then 10 years he's in heaven, and then someone comes like, hey man, your wife's here, and he's like, what? Excuse me? Yeah, it's been 10 years. Your wife just passed away. She's gonna be in heaven here in like 2 minutes. What? What the fuck? What are you talking about? What do you mean? You said that you were gonna live with her forever. And he's like, it said until death do us part, though. I got a fucking girlfriend here. He's like, all right, well, she's gonna be here soon. We just gotta hose her down and put wings on her or something. So just get ready. But I was thinking about that. Like, it is really funny, just like how the expectations that we have on like dead relatives and dead people. Like, they're watching over us. It's like, don't they have anything else? Haven't they earned a little bit of a break? Just doing all this shit all the time on Earth forever, and then they gotta go to your fucking softball game still. It's like they're fucking dead. Let it go. I don't even know. Does any of the like big books even say what happens in heaven? Do we know what we're supposed to even do there when we get there? Is it fun? Or is it just like work? I live alone, but I'm constantly being hounded by family and friends to be like, dude, you still alive? Where are you? And just like, I'll be back inside you soon. Well, I hope you're doing all right. Do you ever have a burger that looks like it's made out of missing people? It's so effing nasty. There were guys in the Bible that actually asked Jesus about what I said. Yo, if we all marry one chick, whose wife is she in heaven? Yeah, oh yeah, what does he say? He does say something about that, I don't recall. And he's like, she's mine. Mormon heaven is really specific. Oh, that's right. They get like different planets and shit. They get to be like brothers with Jesus. I watched The Notebook with my wife last night. Nice, bro. I heard The Notebook's actually like just a terrible, terrible, terrible movie. Like, as far as its representation of what women want or something. Like, the main character supposedly is like super, super fucking wishy-washy. Like, has like an actual really nice relationship with the one character and then just like completely screws him over throughout the whole movie to go be with somebody else, Ryan Gosling or whatever. You missed the birds. Check the latest 3 videos. They're in there. I don't remember the answer. There's something about it doesn't matter. We're all just chilling. Oh, yeah, that's fair. What do you want? It's not that simple. Justin, I don't even know what heaven you believe in. You just have like ambiguous space magic. And it makes me a little scared. Because what if you rolled up and just pulled a rabbit out of a top hat? That would be real to me. That'd be very real to me. How do you feel about the discourse about your last video? I don't know. I mean, like, as I was saying at the beginning, guys, like, if you write in stories to me, try not to like impart too much of your personality into the story, like too much of your personal random opinions. And basically, like, when you're writing a story, think of it like a steak. A little bit of fat certainly does make it tasty, but too much fat makes it chewy and you just like want to spit it out, you know what I mean? Or as I've heard it described as like, coffee is great. A little bit of sweetener, a little bit of sugar in your coffee makes it taste awesome. Too much sugar in your coffee makes you go, what the fuck is this? Get this out of my goddamn face. And I'm thinking that's kind of what the last episode may have had with like the first story or whatever story. I mean, you could even hear me in the stream talking about it. It's just like some people, they just be doing too much, saying too much shit. What was the discourse? I just think a lot of people were like finding I don't know how one of the narrators, the writers, to be very, very annoying. You know what I mean? But at the same time, it's convention and expo stories. Like, the majority of the people that go there either don't shower or have like some various degree of autism, so they're going to be a little bit wordy, I imagine, if they can speak. This is too rough for an 8-year-old stomping on people's heads. Oh, your 8-year-old's a Let's Read fan. Well, you know, you'll just have to pick and choose which ones. Yeah. Well, I think that's what I find so fascinating about the spoken word. Is like for the longest time, whenever YouTube was like really, really strict with like the things that it monetizes and all this kind of stuff, it just goes to show you like how powerful it is. Like if you watch someone play Grand Theft Auto and like stomp on people's heads, kill hookers, whatever, shoot rocket launchers, for some reason that's like A-okay. You know, it's kind of like abstractly like a kid-friendly realm, even though it's rated like M for mature, but everyone's cool with it. But for some reason, like when I speak words and the words appear in your head as visions, somehow your own visions are like more offensive to you than like film and TV, or just as offensive as like a snuff film. You know what I mean? So I don't know. It just goes to show you the power of the mind, even though it's literally nothing and not comparable to like a PG-13 or rated R movie. But for some reason, just the thought in your own head, I guess from your own experiences of watching other bad movies or whatever, helps to generate an image that's not suitable for kids. But at the same time, it's so abstract and weird that one could argue that like audio forms of things are like the safest things for kids, you know, as it's not necessarily any visuals. I don't know. We see in symbols and visions. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, it's certainly not Let's Read for third graders. The gamer that did not want to brag but would brag throughout the entire story. Yeah, that shit was annoying as fuck. But, you know, I don't know. Those are the characters you get from those. And I'll try to be a little bit stronger in the editing process to, like, remove the wheat from the chaff type shit, yard. It's Let's Read for read-tards. I've got the most offensive chat in town. They're so offensive. This is one where she kept saying cliche in every other sentence. Yeah, probably. I don't fucking know. It is what it is. We move on. We cringe on. I put out like 9,000 videos. Not all of them can be like absolute fucking bangery-doos. Oh, you're a writer, 8-legged freak body. What do you like to write about? Teacher, robot, stream this. It's kind of interesting. There's a lot of other narrators that are saying that like copycat channels are stealing their stories, and I'm just curious why that is. Unless it's happening to like a ton of YouTube channels. But it just seems to be like diluting the pool quite a bit, and it's very odd. We heard the cops finally released him after they managed to pull a partial boot print off of Dottie's skull. And you read right, by the way. And you read that right, by the way. Someone kicked her so hard and so many times that the tread of their boots showed up as this perfect pattern of bruising on her skin. And that's how they knew that it couldn't have been the man in black who stomped Dottie half to death, as the guy apparently submitted not one, but 2 pairs of boots for examination. His old faithfuls and a spare that he kept just in case anything happened to the first, both the exact same make and model. We heard the thing about the boots directly from the mouth of a sheriff's deputy who came around to ask if anyone owned a pair of the same Red Wing boots used in the attack. I can't remember which kind or if he even said, might have just told anyone who owned a pair to let them know so they could be eliminated as a suspect. Now, I didn't see this at the time, but Big Earl later told us that while the deputy was giving his speech about Red Wings, he just so happened to notice that a certain regular wasn't wearing his usual footwear. He was instead wearing a pair that he hadn't seen before. Not brand new, but Earl definitely hadn't seen them before. This was in a place where when a guy bought even so much as a new pair of socks, a new pair of cocks. Making us speak like toddlers, like they're the ones watching. It is strange, honestly. Like why does TikTok and all this shit like still have all these like weird double speak words that still it's like just by changing the words doesn't change what they mean, you know, to call something grape or whatever the fuck, you know, instead of sexual assault or rape or whatever. I don't know, it's just like so stupid. It still means the same fucking thing. Like, just let the words exist. All it is bypassing some stupid bot system, and clearly the bot system is not good enough to pick up on it. I don't even know. There are YouTube channels just flat out stealing your audio, not just the story, but you reading it. No, I know, it's a shit ton of them, and I don't really know what to do about it. I mean, but then I had, you know, somebody else messaging me saying like, hey, this channel's stealing my stuff, can you report them? And I'm like, bro, I'm going through the same thing. I don't really know if it's even possible to report them enough, because it's not just one. This was in a place where, when a guy bought even so much as a new pair of socks, he showed them off to the guys at the shop, at least the ones that he was buddies with anyway. Now maybe Mr. New Boot wasn't showing them off because they were secondhand, or they were an old pair that he just hadn't worn for a while. But then maybe, just maybe, and that's where Big Earl's head was at when he walked out of the diner later that afternoon. But it wasn't a couple of days later that we even got wind of what he'd been thinking, and when that wind hit, I don't know if I was more shocked, angry, or disappointed. I clocked in one afternoon to find that Charlie was away from the register and sitting in his office. He was just sitting there, staring into space with the radio on, and that's when I stuck my head around the door to ask if he was okay, and he told me to come in and sit down. Once the door was closed, he told me that only a minute or two before I showed up, he'd heard news on the radio that there had been an arrest in Dottie's attempted murder. And as you can imagine, I sat right up in my seat thinking, they got him? Who? Who was it? And with this look on his face, Joel's poll. Desensitization, but also skewing the narratives. It's actually so harmful for real in a plethora of ways, but hey, that's the agenda, right? Desensitization, but also skewing the narratives. I don't know, man. I literally don't even know. Like, I don't even know what's trying to be accomplished through social media anymore, because, like, there's not, like, a single narrative that pops up for me that I feel enraptured by or give a fuck about anymore. Maybe that's me. Maybe I am desensitized towards it. And I'm just, like, over it to the point where I'm, like, not really generally a threat to make, like, any difference. Also, I feel like I shouldn't say what I'm about to say. But it's so fucking weird to me that I don't even know. It's so weird to me. And it's literally so preliminary that maybe even talking about it is like such a bad idea. But also the fact that all of us sort of exist in this like compartmentalized little circle. So, like, I've talked to you guys about my gym before, and my gym is, like, just wildly, like, I brought somebody in to, like, it was struggling really bad, right? And then I brought someone in, and then they completely turned it around. And now it's in, like, a state of, like, relative profit, but not, like, enough to, like, pull money from it or anything like that, but enough to, like, survive until the lease is over and then, like, decide what to do from that point on or whatever. But the guy that I had brought on to kind of like take over things and like run things says to me that he is like, and this is a guy I like trust with my life, but he like, I have no idea if this is how this would like even pan out or what the fuck, but he says that there's a guy that goes to the fucking gym that he became friends with that is like a Saudi Arabian, like one of those like royalty like princes. And I'm not even fucking like joking, but they're like they go there and they're just like a Saudi Arabian like oil tycoon prince, right? And they like got to meet his like dad, you know, or something like that, who like rolled in and like some like fucking random ass like G-Wagon, whatever the fuck, you know, just like high level shit. And I know there's so many Saudi princes. I don't even know how that like hierarchy whole fucking thing works at all, or like who the fuck's who, or who's got money. I mean, it does sound like a scam, but this person's like, you know, legitimately, I know I should marry him. I should be one of his 50 wives. I should let him poop on my I should let him poop on my face like an Instagram model does. Not surprising in Pennsylvania. Yeah, I don't fucking know, dude. It's weird. It's the most random, because I mean, like, the demographics there is not, like, I have no idea what the fuck, you know what I mean? But anyways, he's like talking about like, you know, I want my son, we want to bring this brand over to Saudi Arabia. And they're like, what? This brand? Like, I mean, it's a cool gym. Like, it's generally like a cool gym with like, you know, but it's not like some like wildly different, you know, story to anything else you might experience elsewhere. Your bro is steam friends with a Saudi prince? I don't know, but anyways, long story short, the concept is basically like, it sounds like he might be approaching, you know, the friend that I brought in to like fix things, who I like genuinely trust with like running all operations at any time, to like either invest in some type of like gym across seas, or like some type of business sort of adventure across seas, or some type of concept of like a rebuilding a megaplex elsewhere. Basically, just because I mean, it's funny because that same friend had like some huge PowerPoint presentation that they showed me, where they basically, after the lease was up, we wanted to build this, but obviously to build it, it's going to be this, you know, it's just, and I didn't want to be involved in any sort of like fucking loan that's going to be like so much money that I'm just like basically up to my fucking wiener in debt, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know, this is like so wildly preliminary, but I'm genuinely like very, very curious to like what my friend manifests from this in his, because I mean, like, he's the one with like the dream to like run a gym and do all this stuff. And do I own a gym? I do. Yeah. It was a gym that so like going back a little bit in lore, it was a gym that like my pastor asked me to invest in and get started, and we did. And then that guy turned out to be a complete fucking retard, you know, for lack of a better word, because he didn't know how to like actually like financially run anything, while like also being very financially reliant upon the government. And I realized that when people were like excessively reliant upon being financially reliant upon the government, they sometimes actually don't have the incentivization structure in their life to break free of government assistance. So sometimes they'll almost like self-sabotage to like not do well, you know, or whatever. Do I go to church? I used to go a lot. I don't really go anymore. Reps for Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. For you, my friend, we make a deal. But yeah, so that's kind of like all these like things buzzing in my head. I'm just like, I don't know what the fuck is going to come out of this, but I could totally see some like Saudi prince's dad just being like, I don't care what the cost is. You just build it for my son. And then it's just made out of gold. Like it's a gold Minecraft fucking fortress. It's just, it's a fucking castle with a bench press in it. Saudi prince is the cake. What does that mean? What does that mean? Can I work out of this gym maybe, or do you have a shoot on site orders in place for me? I do, yeah. I mean, if you can find it, you can go there, bro. Just don't hunt me down or anything. If he was mega rich, he wouldn't need your help. No, yeah, for sure. I mean, like, but like, it's clear from talking to my friend that the individual that they've interacted with and his father are of a degree of like oil-connected wealth that it's like kind of insane, which we shall see. But at the same time, it's like the tentative desire on their end is supposedly to take the brand and bring it over to where they're from, which I guess is Saudi Arabia. What exactly that manifests into, and whether or not my friend can like then sell them on something locally that's even cooler than that, and, you know, abroad, that would be insane. And he's definitively the guy I would want to be on the job for that. Joel's Goldman's Gym. What's up, buddy boy? Drinking a Dr. Pepper Zero in your honor. Hell yeah, let's go. The best sody pop in town. The super rich have gyms in their many homes. No, I feel you. But he likes the community aspect of it. He likes the... If he's so rich, what's he doing in Pennsylvania? I mean, I won't speak any further, but you can... He's got objectives here in Pennsylvania that he's doing. I mean, you can speculate. I met a guy at a club back in 2001 that was an oil prince from Saudi Arabia. He asked me to marry him. I said no thanks. Probably for the best. He would have been someone's like live-in porta potty. And with this look on his face like he didn't know whether to laugh or cry, he told me the name on the radio had been Bill Stapleton, or Bull, as he more often called himself. We figured that there had to be some kind of mistake. As you can imagine, I sat right up in my seat like, they got him? Who? Who was it? And with this look on his face like he didn't know whether to laugh or cry, he told me the name on the radio had been Bill Stapleton, or Bull, as he more often called himself. Now we figured that there had to be some kind of mistake, some kind of crosswire or miscommunication that had landed good old Bull in a real pickle. And after all, he was pretty close with Dottie, checking in on her every time he showed up, buying her food or a bottle of something that wouldn't get her pissed drunk. Maybe someone figured Bull was maybe in love with her or something, and had lost his mind after seeing her selling it one too many. Bull. There was huge money in some of the weirdest places in Pennsylvania. I lived there for 25 years. It still surprised me. Yeah. It's a very odd thing. The status is up for debate, but they were Saudi and they were in Pennsylvania for some reason. And you know the Saudis, they love energy. They're very energetic people. Maybe someone figured Bull was in love with her or something, and had lost his mind after seeing her selling it one too many times to scumbags. I mean, that's what I was thinking all throughout the rest of that day, because gun to my head, I couldn't have given you an alternative theory. There had to have been a mistake, just like with the man in black, and I was absolutely positively certain that any day coming, Bull was going to be released without charge. But God knows, I was wrong on that one. The very next day, the news broke that the cops had been over to Bull's house to toss the place. His wife already knew that he'd been arrested, but his kids didn't, and so I guess he was lucky it was a school day, so they didn't have to see a bunch of deputies turning their bedrooms upside down looking for evidence. Bull's wife had to just stand back, and I'm guessing with a coffee and a cigarette with how early it was, and just watch as the cops went through everything. Now I heard she kept telling them, "Y'all ain't gonna find anything. My Bull ain't like that." And that's exactly what we thought too. But then, they did find something. When the cops couldn't find anything in the house, they started digging up the yard, including his wife's flower beds. Your buddy's about to headline the next Riyadh Comedy Festival. We have to keep really quiet about the human rights violations over there and we'll be good. It's not halal. Amber, welcome back for 28 months. Says, thanks for keeping me company at work tonight. You're welcome. What were the views on the last Expo story upload? How were the views? Oh, they were, so like they rank it on YouTube, like out of the last 10 videos you've done, your videos get a ranking at that point. And so if it's the best video performance, say in like 24 hours out of the last 10, it would be a 1 out of 10, which is your best rating. And then the worst would be the 10 out of 10, which would be like your lowest rating. And that one was like a 10 out of 10. Just because a lot of it comes down to like suggested views, like YouTube suggesting it out to new people. That's where you get a lot of your views. And if the video is not really being enjoyed by the base subscribers as far as watch time and click-through rate and all that kind of stuff, like clicking on the video and watching a large percentage of it, then it's like less likely to be suggested out to randoms. And then if the randoms don't like it or get mad, click off, and then it just basically continues to like tank till it's just kind of generally kept in cryostasis till maybe YouTube can find an audience that likes it or whatever. I feel like this was discussed in previous episodes, but I truly cannot remember for sure. How do you feel about the Sunshine Protection Act? Never even... Hopefully it's something funny. Oh, Daylight Savings Time battle pits. Proposed U.S. law that would make Daylight Savings Time permanent nationwide. If enacted, it would end the twice-yearly practice of changing the clocks by 1 hour, keeping the entire country, except regions like Hawaii and most of the Arizona that do not observe standard daylight changes, 1 hour ahead of standard time year-round. I would be okay with that if they're not going to like, we're going to keep the clocks moved forward, not going to move it back in winter and make it fucking dark at 4:30, and we're going to give $10 trillion to everyone except the American people. What human rights violation are you talking about? India? Yeah, I was just talking about India, I promise. I promise! Please don't hurt me. Please, I promise. Nah, I'm just playing. I'm just trying to remember exactly why a lot of those people like weren't there a lot of comedians that just didn't go because they couldn't say certain things or whatever? It just like felt very like curated. Like the only person that went over there that didn't perform or whatever was like Tim Dillon or something. Probably because he would have like made some comments about people wearing trash bags or something. I don't fucking know. Daylight savings time has to end as we are no longer dealing with the lamp oil. Yeah, I mean, it's just like, it's pointless shit for like farmers and stuff. And like, sure, like people might be like, it might be a little bit dark in the morning whenever they're waiting for the bus, but it's still way nicer than fucking the sun going down at like 3. It's so depressing. It was really bad whenever I was like more nocturnal. Summer's slipping away. Sun sets after 8 p.m. I know, bro. It was passed by the House and now we're just waiting on the Senate. Yeah, I don't really know what would be holding them up. You think they would be like the one thing? You think there would be like one piece of legislation that like they would just uniformly, every person would be like, yeah, fuck yeah, But then there's... I like to imagine maybe Chuck Schumer. And he's like, well, whenever I wake up at 3:30 a.m. and have my morning baby blood, I like to, know that the sun is going to be up a little bit earlier than usual. I don't go out in the sun as I would immediately burst into a flame, but, it's good to know it's there. And that's true too. They might just quite literally like to farm our loosh by making us depressed. People protest about it being too dark for too long in the morning, so it may be dangerous for kids commuting to school. God damn it. Everything has to go back to the kids, doesn't it? It's always about the fucking kids. Well, how come they don't give a fuck about kids whenever they're making like a Tomahawk missile? Nobody ever appeals to the children for fucking military spending. Or at least they do and nobody listens. This is like the one good thing we can get. They did unanimously pass the anti-deep fake corn bill earlier this year. Deepfake porn. Oh, jeez. Okay, so it's not going to hurt the poor porn industry. They can continue to, like, farm sin out of our wieners. If they can't get completely unrelated deal out of it, they won't pay. Yeah, exactly. Everything's got to, like, well, if you do this, then we get this. And maybe we can get a little bit of this money sent over here to funnel through this war zone and then traffic children from this, Fort Bragg to here and maybe there, something like that. And then you can see your precious fucking sun. How about we blot out the sun with more clouds? How about we make a fucking cloud machine and then you never see the fucking sun? How about it looks like the Matrix every single day when you make it to the surface? Think about the kids, motherfucking, if it's foreign kids getting, yeah, I mean, you can't post AI generated the fake adult videos of people without their consent, basically. Oh, okay, well, that's good. I was getting sick of it. Every day I walk out, it's another picture of me with a full spread. But also, that would have absolutely killed OnlyFans, huh? When the cops couldn't find anything in the house, they started digging up the yard, including his wife's flower beds, which supposedly had her in conniptions. She was even madder when they didn't find anything, but before they abandoned their search entirely, one of the deputies noticed something odd about the paving at the foot of Bowles' backyard. It was kind of miscolored and in better shape than the rest of the slabs, almost like something had been sitting on top of it till fairly recently when somebody decided to move it. Bowles' wife said he kept their big old grill unit there until just a couple of weeks prior, when for some unknown reason he decided to move it. Well, that was it. The deputies had already seen that big grill unit in the shed towards the back of Bowles' yard, and they even poked around inside a little too. But when they heard it's been moved, they went through the ashes under the grill with a fine-toothed comb, literally. And that's how they found about 24 small metal eyelets, all smaller than your pinky nail, and it didn't take long to figure out what they were from. They were from a pair of boots Bowl had burned to ash, the little pieces of metal that you thread the laces through. And then when they asked Bowl why he'd recently chosen to burn what was a perfectly good pair of Red Wings, he went from defensive but talkative to not saying a goddamn word and talking through his attorney instead. He later pleaded not guilty and has his Why would I take the blue pill? Because it gives you a boner. Hayden Panettiere died? Really? What? 36 years old? What happened? Oh, what the fuck? I always used to like her. Died on August 16th. Yes, she got 36, as confirmed by a representative family. We see that in public. Her statement, father, Skip Panettiere, remembered her as an incredible light and force of nature while the entertainment industry... What happened? Her family expressed their profound grief, describing her as an... Panettiere passed away today. Her death was official... cause of death, the exact cause and circumstances of her passing have not yet been made public by her family or authorities. Fuck, dude. That's scary. Oh, bad history of substance abuse. Dude, that's so sad, man. I wonder if it's even possible to, like, get into Hollywood without, like, shoving shit up your nose or drinking or taking pill. I don't know. I guess it's just like such a shit realm, you know? So many bad influences, so much abuse, so much crap that you're like the only way to cope is to crush a little white powder up. We're the same age as her. I know. It's fucking crazy. Fucking crazy. Yeah. Oh yeah, that show Heroes. Man, that was going back. That doesn't feel that long ago either. Heroes. Damn. From Canada, I just want to say I'm a big fan. Thanks, Gio Catan. Good to see ya. The cheerleader, after she talked about the woman who tried to set her up on the yacht and expose the crap that they were doing, shocking. Not that I don't know. Hayden Panettiere is an actress who's like, well, she was in that show Heroes and some other stuff. That's her eulogy. I give her eulogy. She was in Heroes and some other stuff. I think a video game. And she was beautiful. And I hope that's my eulogy. When I die of some mysterious circumstance, after my plane goes down over Saudi Arabia or whatever, I hope they say, Joel, he had a YouTube channel and had a strange assortment of things up his butt. He later pleaded not guilty and had his defense attorney try just about everything he could think of to try and get him the slip. But those eyelets, the burning of the boots, that's what gave him exactly zero chance in front of a jury. Boots aren't something you just burn when you're done with them. Not even if, like Bull's attorney said, you can't get the smell of old roadkill out of them after accidentally stepping in a rotten jackrabbit moldering in a bush. And the jury didn't buy that at all. And then after a guilty verdict, Bull ended up getting 15 years for attempted murder. But by the time his trial was up, he ended up in jail for way longer, on accounts of all the other charges. Because one day, totally out of the blue, Dottie woke up from her coma. And as you can imagine, everyone was very happy about it. Everyone except Bull, of course, who probably hung his head when the news reached him. It took a while before she could speak. Joel, hive mind daddy, pole bear, bear polar, cat dad, sleep fairy, he shall be missed. He shall be pissed. Joel's obituary. Joel was some YouTuber with a burning passion for Loosh. He was found being eaten by his beloved cat Pradeep. He was found inside of a Saudi Arabian porta potty, covered in weeks worth of fecal matter. They use you as a porta potty, or like they put you at the bottom of their porta potty, like in a huge, just, fucking subterranean shit layer, and then they just like forget you down there. It slowly fills with crap. And then you die from, like, poop exposure. What a way to go, folks. He was a poop guy. He sold his soul for 30 poops. As you can imagine, everyone was real happy about it. Everyone except Bull, of course, who probably hung his head when the news reached him. It took a while before she could speak, but I think it was only a couple of days before she was able to write out simple sentences on a notepad that the nurses provided. And that's how the cops found out why Bull had attacked her so viciously. And to the folks that knew him, that was just as shocking. He died in the middle of a human centipede. That's how he went out, and he went to a human centipede inside of Mecca. He was inside of Mecca. That big rotating block thing, he was in there. No one knew. It has a one-way mirror, and he was his human centipede inside of that. Just an opportunity. Is there a Tesla recruiter to be part of the Tesla Advanced Manufacturing AM program? Just got an opportunity. Is there a Tesla recruiter to be part of the Tesla Advanced Manufacturing? I don't understand. They're going to turn you into a Tesla? What's going on? Yeah, I should sell my Loosh in a jar. Honestly, that would be... Okay, Justin, you're the in-house witch guy. I honestly think you should sell Loosh. You could sell negative Loosh and positive Loosh, and it's literally just you taking a bottle, screaming into it angrily, putting a cork on it, that's negative Loosh, and then laughing into like one bottle, and then that's positive Loosh. People can open it up and they can drink it like a reptilian, and, gather what they may from it. Joel is the GOAT of YouTube horror, period. End of story. What the frick? Thank you, bro. Esteban, the speaker of truth. The most romantic position is the upside down Spidey pose. But it's like, would it also still be human centipede style? Like you're up down Spidey Man style, but then they fucking sew your mouth to someone else's mouth, which then like another mouth is, you're hanging from the roof by like a series of 10 mouths going ass to mouth. That's how the cops found out why Bull had attacked her so viciously. And to the folks that knew him, the why was just as shocking as the fact that he did it in the first place. You see, Bull wasn't just looking out for Dottie. He was her pimp. And he'd been her pimp since she was just 15 years old. Yeah, you read that right. 15. He didn't provide her with drugs. He let someone else risk all that. But he did encourage her to use them so she'd be depending on hooking for money. Well, that only worked for so long because by the time Dottie turned 20, she started reflecting on where she was at in life and what her future might be holding. She decided that she ought to clean herself up and get her life on track. But when Bull heard that he was about to lose his moneymaker, he obviously wasn't very happy in the least bit. He and Dottie argued, and things got heated fast. And then when she threatened to tell his wife what he'd done to her back when she was 15 and still grooming her into work for him, Bull lost his mind. Loosh merch. Loosh. Delicious loosh. This one's been fermenting for months. Have you heard about David Hahn, radioactive Boy Scout? He tried to help make a homemade nuclear reactor at age 17. That sounds familiar. Okay. He and Dottie argued, and things got heated fast. And then when she threatened to tell his wife what he'd done to her back when she was 15, He and Dottie argued, and things got heated fast. Then when she threatened to tell his wife what he'd done to her back when she was just 15 and he had gotten her into working for him, Bull lost his mind. I guess it was because he'd never really thought about what his life might look like if people found out what he was up to and what he'd done to Dottie back when she was still just a kid. Or I guess more of a kid than she was at 19 or 20. And that's when Bull decided that the only way Dottie was going to get out. And that's when Bull decided that the only way Dottie was getting out was in a box. And while he tried his damnedest to kick her head in, he hadn't done a good job by the time he decided that he needed to fake like he'd found her before anyone came looking for them. Dottie never did come back to the last chance, and for that we're all glad. I ended up leaving the place behind myself not long after, and while I left behind some good people, I can't say I missed the place all that much. Because while I'm reminded of Charlie and Camila and Big Earl and Quiet Pepe, I'm reminded of Bull too, along with the pure disappointment and heartbreak I felt when I realized a little too late that some people are not who they say they are. Pepe does not approve. Alright, story 1 in the books. That one was pretty nuts. I'm not a witch, but I love witchy things, including hanging dried flowers upside down in my house, creating a salt and cinnamon mixture for protection to put by the front door, and making moon water. I don't remember exactly what the circumstance was, but I was out to dinner as recently my parents had their somethingth anniversary. I have no fucking clue what anniversary of theirs it was, but they had their anniversary for marriage. Very happy for them. And I took them out to dinner to celebrate. And it's just so funny to see the juxtaposition between like a male response and like female response to a certain situation in which I talked about. And like my mother said like, well, maybe we pray for blah blah. But then like, but they said it almost at the exact same time. And then my dad like had a like, well, you're probably going to like beat the shit out of him or something. You know what I mean? Like, and I just thought it was really funny. Just that sort of women, you know, seemed they're like, you know, more inclined towards the appealing to like the spiritual realm for assistance and guidance. And then men are just like, oh, we'll just fucking destroy it with physical force. Both of which I'm not sure which one's scarier. What if you just never ended the live stream? What if we Hotel California'd this? Forever. Both your dogs in the room? Let's go, dude. We're good. Look at male versus female prisons. Do you think any of the female prisons have like a high witch? It's like a matriarchy where they all just do like magic tricks. Do I play an instrument? I wish, dude. I own some instruments, but I don't know how to play any. I never took the time to really learn. I don't think that's a woman or a man, but religious versus non-religious. I mean, I think that's a good assessment as well. The way I was like thinking about it was just like the evolution of man versus like woman. You know what I mean? Like, if you go back like 1,000 years, 2,000 years, and just like any sort of context in which like a man's trying to get ahead in life and he might do it through force. A woman might be trying to get ahead and it might, you know, but existing in like very, very different legal systems that a woman exists in the current mode. And she might have to appeal to like, you know, the forces of the paranormal, you know what I mean? Or like I don't know. And I just kind of like wonder if that's why like some women are almost like, maybe like more evolutionarily inclined. Like think about that. Like think of a humans, both man and women have been around so long that they've had, you know, various evolutionary adaptations that have occurred. And what if like there are certain evolutionary adaptations that make women just more prone to being in connection, as they say, the female intuition? Maybe there's something about it that's spiritual in nature as well, and makes them more inclined to like being interested in the witchy activities. Found her after I set down my pants. It was a bunch of gloves and my AirPods, and I finished them all together. What, your pants were just like filled with various knickknacks? What the hell? My voice is all messed up due to the cold. Should have got your COVID shot. Should have got your COVID shot. I went to my local convention last week as Misa from Death Note, and the BOs is criminally offensive. Yeah, I saw a meme actually on that where you and your boy are stoked about the convention, then you get in there and your whole mood is changed because you're just like, what the fuck? Brother, My name is Catherine, and I was born in the small town, Catherine. The destruction by physical force is also spiritual if you think about it. There were gods and goddesses of war in old pagan religion. That's true. That's true. But I guess I think about, like, don't they have, like, weren't a lot of the females, like, within, like, Greek mythology? Not all of them, but I mean, like, some of them were the muses, or what do they call them? Like, the ones the oracles. It's always like a female oracle of sorts, you know what I mean? Like the interconnection between the spiritual world and... Because, I mean, the placing of male or female onto, like, certain gods, you know, gods at the end of the day don't necessarily have genders. We just kind of, like, attributed to them because they're just spiritual beings outside of the physical. But on the bright side, I got to find and buy some killer clowns from outer space Lego figures. Oh, that's awesome. I'm supposed to know what a girl knows what to eat before they do because they are spiritually evolved. That's true. They should be able to impart their thoughts into your head. Lately, though, I have been able to, like, I wouldn't even say read people's minds, but I've been able to, like, see their body language and then, like, be like, oh, you like that thing? Or you like her? Or, like, oh, or you like my hat? Or stuff like that. And then, like, a few times in the past, like, week, people have been like, wait, how did you know I was thinking that? And it's, I don't know, maybe it's just because, like, I can see them fucking looking at the thing, but it's just been funny that they're like, I noticed the ever slight twitch of your eye as you gazed at that server's butthole. I'm becoming a woman. I'm changing, things are changing. It's going to be a whole different sounding voice here soon on the Let's Read podcast. Things are going to get real, feminine. My name is Katerin, and I was born in a small town in Russia back in 1973. I speak Russian first, German second, and English third, so while I think I have done an okay job in writing my email, I apologize if sometimes my writing is not quite the best. I did not have a happy childhood. My mother died when I was young, and by my teens, my father had become a violent alcoholic who would beat himself and he would beat off. My father would womanize, he would drink. I'm the louche thief. Am I the hat guy? I usually wear like a big witch's hat or a crown. Maybe like a large 3-foot Dr. Seuss Cat in the Hat. Only thing that sucked about having COVID is I couldn't leave the house even though I felt fine. I kept coming back positive for COVID for like 3 weeks. They should have just kept you in a cage. That's what they should have did during COVID. During COVID, they should have like boarded everyone inside their home and then welded their door shut forever. Imagine, you know, like there's so many things during COVID where people were like kind of like savage about stuff and then they come back and they're like, sorry about that. Just be really funny to like, because I remember like hearing about that in China when COVID was like first popping off, how they were like welding people inside of like apartments or whatever I don't even know if any of that was true, but I'm just imagining like they get them out later and they're like, hello? You guys okay in there? And then they like unweld it like years later and it's just fucking like skeletons like, at least you're not sick. At least you didn't get my grandmother sick. My mother died when I was young, and by my teens, my father had become a violent alcoholic who would beat myself and my brother. And things only got worse, too, because as I grew into my late teens, the Soviet Union started to fall apart piece by piece by piece. My father did not work for the government, but he was a party man through and through. He believed in Marxist-Leninism with all of his heart, and he was proud to call himself a Soviet citizen. He possessed an ironclad conviction that the USSR would one day declare victory over the hated United States. And so when word passed around that Yeltsin still need to be bubble wrapped, yeah, we need to keep you contained. I would hate anybody else to get a mild cough. What we doing having all these witches in here? Are we calling the quarters or what? What's calling the quarters? That sounds... I think we're rolling bones. Everybody, it's that time of the stream. Roll your bones. We have to consult with the dead chickens. Saying witch supremacy, guys, is very warlockist. When is the last time you all have used the word penetration? The word should be illegal, no? I think so. Let's vote. I will penetrate your cabin later tonight with a tomahawk missile. This is my first stream I'm joining. I don't know what I expected, but I'm enjoying the chaos. Oh, good to see you, Alyssa. Thanks for being here. Witch's Coven. Oh, fuck, dude. We're starting a Witch's Coven in here, man. It's getting fucking crazy, dude. When I'm feeling even a little off, I stay at home, so definitely not one of the people that don't care about others sick. I don't know, if I designate you as a bad person, it'll make me feel better, so get ready. Here it comes, folk. I'm gonna say that you're bad, and then basically when I say you're bad forever. So when word passed around that Yeltsin, I don't actually know how to say this guy's name, penetrating the ears. Dude, I can't believe Hayden's dead. Dude, that's what I'm saying, man. Like, life is so fucking short. Like, you just die? No one told me that you die. Is it Yeltsin? I think I'm just gonna say Yeltsin. I've survived your last 6 months via missile. Your threats mean nothing to me anymore. It's just like balloons, tower defense on your house all the time. My monkey Leroy is just like throwing massive darts. Or what's his name's not Leroy. What's the do you guys ever play Balloons Tower Defense 6? Quincy. So when word passed around that Yeltsin had visited an American supermarket, he had been amazed by what he saw. Many true believers realized the American proletariat were not in fact starving, downtrodden, and on the cusp of socialist If you're a vampire, I'm gonna need you to change me ASAP. Dude, you don't want to be a vampire. Being a vampire is a fucking curse, man. It's not fun. NBA fanboy, what's up, broski? Good to see ya. So when word passed around that Yeltsin had visited an American supermarket and had been amazed by what he saw, many true believers realized the America proletariat were not in fact starving, downtrodden, and on the cusp of socialist revolution. Rather, very well fed indeed. And I think it was that which sowed the first seeds of doubt in my father's mind. And you must understand, the news was not the news back in Russia during those times. Things like Yeltsin's visit to Texas were not shown on television or spoken about on the radio. News like that traveled from mouth to mouth in a way where facts became twisted and it became impossible to know what to believe. And that's what really destroyed the Soviet Union. Not Chernobyl, not Afghanistan. It was not knowing what to believe in anymore. Because when that happens, when you can't see what is true from what is false, then nothing matters anymore. The collapse reached its peak for me personally in October of 1990, when a rumor went around that almost 500,000 young Soviets had refused to show up for their mandatory military service. Again, this didn't make headlines, but my father believed it, because my own brother was one of those who preferred to become a fugitive instead of a soldier. Now, with my brother gone, my father beat me even more. It didn't matter if I had my mother's looks. He didn't care about anything anymore. And so one day I decided to leave too. In secret, I packed a backpack, only a small one, but enough for a change of clothes, some water, and a few packets of the old rye crackers we used to eat. And then, as they say in America, I hit the road. My intentions were to hitchhike all the way to Moscow. A fanciful idea, but I was full of them at that time. I thought I was going to join a ballet school there, as I'd done in my youth, and become rich and famous after traveling all the way to America. Well, I was wrong. I've never even stepped foot in America, and my journey to Moscow didn't even nearly... Joel's gonna go off on you? Who's going off on me? Or who wants me to go off? I'm going off everywhere. How old were you guys in 1990? It was the year of our birth, the year of our Lord. Actually, no, she doesn't get sick like that every other week. The perma-sick girlfriend. There's no better girlfriend than a girlfriend who's always sick and always complaining. There's nothing I love more than being a constant pain in the ass. Well, I was wrong. I've never even stepped foot in America, and my journey to Moscow didn't go even nearly as smoothly as I'd hoped. The road between Perm and Kazan... Shite. Hey, there's Pat's Nation. What's up, broski? What's new with you, dog? I'm so happy to be back. How you been, brother? Been good, dude. What the hell? They're stronger than werewolves and cooler and also meaner. Who? Girlfriends? She actually doesn't complain, to be honest. She's almost giggly and happy. One of the reasons we get along. I like to imagine every time you mention your girlfriend, you like look over at like some inflatable doll. And there's a strong part of me that really hopes that's the case, just for the comedic aspect of it. Is there a pined message? Yeah, it was just so I didn't forget to put rain noises in the back of the next video. The whole story in PA Dutch, my native tongue. How's the dating life going? Horrible. She died as soon as she saw me. She got spooked. Her hair turned white and she aged 100 years in the future, like she stuck her limbs out of a time machine. Just melted right there. Well, I was wrong. I never even stepped foot in America, and my journey to Moscow didn't go even nearly as smoothly as I'd hoped. The road between Perm and Kazan was as long as it was cold, and I would stand at the edge of the road with a long little penis. I would stand at the edge of the road with a little cardboard sign and try my best not to look like a prostitute. Some trucks would thunder past and leave me disappointed. Others would stop, ask if I was selling myself, and then simply drive off when I said no. But then sometimes, the drivers would stop, squint at me through their dirty windshields, and then open up their passenger doors and shout at me to climb in. The first one who stopped was a large man with a red face and a gold tooth, and he treated me like his daughter and shared some sausage and black bread with me while warning me against hitchhiking. He asked me about home, and then when I got upset, he talked about his own girl in Sverdlovsk. Just making up towns. Witcher towns. Sverdlovsk. Yeah, whatever. That sounds Russian enough, man. Whenever date a fan, like if you didn't meet under the pretense, like say you guys met organically at the gym or something, you're dating for years, and one night she has a hot girl tummy issues. Is that how it is with hot girls? Like every hot chick just has like fucking ulcerative colitis, so she can't actually like digest or eat enough food, and they're just like perma skinny. Or maybe that she just eats so much Taco Bell and digests it and she has diarrhea all the time. And she's really big. That's fine. I mean, it's not fine. It's actually terrible, but in both circumstances, I hope she gets well. We wish her well, folks. We wish her well. My favorite time of the year is late August leading into September. The month of March is so close. That's right, dude. We're going to have to get into... Dude, oh my God, no. I mean, it's not a big deal. But then we're going to get to fucking September and then everyone's like, spooky month is much away. Guys, it's almost fucking spooky month. Woo! Who cares? I mean, it's spooky month is cool. It's just like, who gives a shit? You know what I mean? It's fucking, I'm stuck in fucking spooky month. It's permanent spooky month in my house all the fucking time. I'm trapped here. I'm never getting out. You guys just get to casually flow through it like you're fucking Jack Skellington visiting Christmas Town. I'm fucking Santa Claus. I'm the mayor of spooky fucking town. I ain't going anywhere. I can't. The whole place would dry up without my stories about prostitutes getting killed. He asked me about home, and then when I got upset, he talked about his own girl in Sverdlovsk, how he hoped she'd never have to stand on the side of a road like me. It was a welcome distraction, and then when he let me out near a petrol station, he pressed a few crumpled rubles in my hand and rubles. Anyone dealing with flooding? I'm in Indiana and the White River is flooding us out. Fuck, man, that's crazy. What the hell? We wear matching costumes all the time, me and my cat. Our costumes are nothing. We're just both naked. Do I already have my Halloween decorations up? Yeah, I never take... Honestly, every time I put up a decoration, it just stays up permanently. I'm just too fucking lazy to give a fuck to take it down, so technically I'm like ready for every season at any moment. It was a welcome distraction, and then when he let me out near a petrol station, he pressed a few crumpled rubles in my hand and told me to be careful of the wolves. Not just the ones who move on 4 legs, but those who move on 2 legs also. He was kind, but not all were like him. There was a thin man with these darting eyes who kept asking if I had a boyfriend, or if I was cold, or if I wanted to rest my head on his shoulder. Now we only made it a few miles before his hand drifted too close to my knee and I made him stop at the next village and got out without a word. Another driver reeked of vodka and muttered about how young pretty girls shouldn't travel alone. He ranted and raved about how the times were changing and that soon we would have serial killers just like in America. I know he was just trying to warn me, but the thought of what might happen had me gripping on the door handle for almost the whole ride. And when we arrived in Kazan, you could feel the tension in the air. People on the streets whispered about Gorbachev, empty shelves, and the rumors that the whole country might be falling apart. I walked around until I found somewhere to shower and sleep, and then spent 2 nights in the cheapest dormitory I could find, one that stank of damp and boiled cabbage. On the 3rd morning, I went back to the highway, looking for a ride towards Nizhny Novgorod. Nizhny Novgorod. Nizhny Must be nice to be Russian. Every time you do like a baby voice, it's like for like a dog or a baby, you can just transition right from the word to the It's like such a smooth, you don't even have to like change any octaves. White River sounds pretty cool, although I'm terrified of open water. I can't appreciate the beauty. Indianapolis and parts of the city itself are flooded. That is crazy. Just like terrible rain through there. Russians are not sexy and I would not give them money. Dude, I love Russians, man. They're funny as fuck, they're loud as shit. And like, they're like some of the best looking people ever. Now granted, some of them are a little scary, but I don't know, sometimes it's kind of cool to be scary. On the 3rd morning, I went back to the highway looking for a ride toward Nizhny Novgorod, and that is when I met him. He was an older man in his 60s, if I had to guess, with very kind blue eyes and a thick gray mustache. He smiled when he saw my sign and said, "Climb up, girl. It's a long way, and the weather is turning." He reminded me a lot of my grandfather, and so did his heavy, faded green truck, which smelled of tobacco and machine oil. I remember that specifically. Now his voice was soft as he asked about my family, listened carefully, and nodded understandingly when I spoke of my mother's death. He shared tea from a thermos and told me about his own years driving across the country, how he had seen the taiga and the steppes. You're a scare actor, so I'm passionate. Oh, that's funny. I saw a video of like those scare actors like practicing or like basically going through training courses to get hired, coming up to these like, I don't know if they send them all over the nation from there. There's like a scare school like Harry Potter or some shit, but it looked really fucking funny because none of them had any makeup on or anything, but they're just like doing a ton of stuff. Top 3 comedians. I mean, Louis C.K. for me is just like permanently up there. He's just funny as shit. I haven't gotten to see a ton of his new stuff. I actually did see him in Pennsylvania shortly after the COVID time frame, and he had some hilarious, like, one of his jokes was, like, he really hasn't changed that much as far as his comedic ability and observational bullshit, but like, what was the one thing he was talking about? Having a girlfriend, like he had a girlfriend from France who had a very strange sense of humor, and one of her things was to like, one of her like sense of humor things was to like send a like little girl's panties to his house or something like that, just to fuck with him. And then he's like, I just remember one of his things, he's like, what the fuck am I supposed to do with those? I can't just like throw them in the trash. Somebody's gonna fucking find them. I can't just like, and then this part in particular just made me laugh a lot. He's like, I can't cut them into 7 pieces and scatter them about the city. I don't know, just like the stupidest, you know what I mean? Just the stupidest shit ever. He's just, I don't know, he just makes it work. And I really don't know anybody else that's like, I mean, there's so many good ones, like George Carlin back in the day. Fucking, who are some of the absolute, I mean, it's just tough. There's so many fucking good ones. But I will say, like, stand-up comedians in the past were so much better than what we got now. You know what I mean? Like, we've got some greats now that are good, and they're kicking butt and all that kind of stuff. But I think there's something about, like, these people who find a ton of success within social media and get, you know, build up that following, which then they can leverage to get people to go to their shows and all that kind of stuff. It's so different in the past. I mean, obviously you had the radio shows and all that kind of thing that like made people popular, or maybe they made rounds or whatever. But I mean, like the individuals that truly had to make a name for themselves as comedians, but only comedians most of the time, they were just clearly so like leagues beyond what we get right now. Because it's like, I love Tim Dillon, I love Shane Gillis, I love Theo Von, all those guys, you know what I mean, that are funny hee-haw people. But at the same time, like, there's a big difference as far as like their ability to like riff with their friends on a podcast, which I totally understand. Sometimes it feels more natural, sometimes you can come up with like random stuff off the cuff that's hilarious. But like their stand-up comedy to me just doesn't quite hit the same as how it used to in like 10 to 20 years ago or before. I rather enjoy some of the offbeat comedians like Josh Blue. I've never heard of Josh Blue. What's offbeat mean? Like just a little bit different? Drew Lynch, never heard of him. Political hate killed comedy. Political hate, what's that? Political hate killed, like whenever they make a joke they can't get away with it or whatever. Which I do think is really stupid. Like those people are like, did you ever come across those people? I'm sure you've seen comments where like, can't say nothing anymore, and then someone's like, well, you see, freedom of speech is not freedom from consequences. And it's like, well, what's the fucking consequences for saying jokes, you fucking retard? Like, is that like some like veiled threat? Like the consequences of saying something that they don't like is to kill you or hurt you? Like, or like lose your job? Like, what kind of psychotic shit is that, you know? If it's in the context of like making jokes, say whatever the fuck you want, man. Did you watch the history podcast that Shane did? No, I did not. Tom Segura is very funny. His skit, I would say his skit comedy was like better than his stand-up for sure. And definitely better than the podcast. I'm not like a huge fan of like the Two Bears, One Penis like podcasts or whatever. It's just not for me. Comedy is needed to cope with politics. Exactly. Like, I mean, I don't know. It's so weird how they were able to like weaponize so much, like half the population, and really going both ways as well. Like just to stir everyone up over fucking words. Like, why is everyone's like emotional regulation like that of a fucking piranha fish? Like, it's so strange. It's like they just sit there idling in the water, just staring at fucking nothing for hours. with their like mouth agape and like teeth fucking like, and then as soon as something like a piece of meat falls in the fucking water or a drop of blood, their like eyes glaze over and they just like rip something apart. Like that's gotta be such a strange way to exist. Do you know what happened to my friend Nay? I don't know. Should be here. I mean, I don't know. I haven't seen her in a little bit, but probably has a normal life, you know? I think Chris Rock hits in a similar way with social commentary, and Joe Rogan talks about stuff that are atypical standard stand-up. Yeah, I'm not a big Joe Rogan stand-up comedy fan, and I haven't even listened to his podcast, and I don't even know how fucking long. I just because it's like it seemed like there was like at some point along the way, Joe Rogan was compromised by some type of like CIA type. Some people speculated it was that guy that guesstimated his or like, you know, psychically guessed his ATM pin or whatever. Maybe it was him, and it was almost to like show like, you fuck with us, or you question the narrative, we'll you know, eat your ass or put, you know, drag you through the mud, or, you know, as they say, there's 1,000 ways to skin a Joe, skin his bald head. But it is what it is. And Matt Rife, yeah, Matt Rife, I mean, I'm not a Matt Rife fan as far as comedy goes, but he seems like a nice boy. And yeah, Joe Rogan's thing was just the sort of like run out on stage, make monkey noises and pretend to jack off. And, you know, it's fun, but it's not really what made him famous. And it's a great example of how the podcast like can sell tickets, get Netflix deals, but it's not going to like allow the cream to rise to the top, if that makes sense. Like, you're not going to get the best of the best because it's going to be constantly clouded by the podcasting space. I feel like what's happening with Joe Rogan's comedy, though, is similar to what happened to Dane Cook's. Oh, like they're misrepresenting him, or like a hate train is being like brought down on him. But I don't know. I get like, I haven't watched any Dane Cook stuff, and I kind of understand that Dane Cook kind of became like the Nickelback of, you know, comedy, where he had so much success that all of a sudden everybody just like did a big switch up on him, and that's understandable sometimes. But with Joe Rogan stuff, I mean, you go back, I'm just like not really. Who's my favorite girl comedian? Oh, fuck. Oh my God. Good question. Whew. Man. Yeah, maybe like Robin Williams with like a wig on or something. And he's Mrs. Doubtfire. My mom's pretty funny. She says some funny stuff sometimes. Unintentional. She doesn't mean to, but when she does, it's good. I can't quite remember what, but if I don't know, honestly, if there are any girl comedians out there, I hope they talk about their vaginas. I hope they talk about abortions. I hope they talk about having lots of cocks and sucking them. These are just, you know what I mean? These are just ideas I'm throwing out there if they want to, like, you know, really, you know, get original in the space of female comedy. These are my thoughts. This is my diary. It's Jordan Jensen. I'm not familiar. Maybe, do you remember that one time that like Pam from The Office dressed up as that old-timey guy with the mustache? Honestly, maybe just Pam from The Office. So you only like boys. So you're a boy lover, That would appear to be the case. He shared tea from a thermos and told me that his own years driving across. He shared tea from a thermos and told me about his own years driving across the country. How he had... Oh yeah, I was supposed to look up how to say these stupid fucking words from Russia. Russia. I'm mad at Russia. Send Ukraine money. Taiga. And the steeps. Steeps. Step. Oh yeah, and the step. And the step. The step. Joel's second biggest L. I can only imagine the first one. Who's your favorite, huh? Who's your favorite comedian? If you say it's not my mom, then... whew, that's your biggest L. You obviously don't know real stand-up comedy. He shared tea from a thermos and told me about his own years driving across the country, how he had seen the taiga and the steppe in the big cities. And for the first hours I felt safe. I even closed my eyes for a little while. But then when I opened them again, I realized something was wrong. I knew the way Nizhny to Nizhny roughly, and I looked at a map in Kazan to remind myself, and we should have stayed on the main highway. But instead, the man turned onto smaller roads, and then smaller still. And when I asked, he smiled and said that there was construction ahead, and this way was faster. And for a while, too long actually, I believed him. But then the trees got denser, and my stomach got tighter, and telling myself that this grandfatherly man would not harm me became harder and harder. The friendly conversation didn't return. He stopped talking about his family, and he seemed much more tense in a way I couldn't quite put my finger on at first. And then finally, after turning down a road that led only to fields, I realized with horror that his intentions for me had never been good. Ahead of us, parked underneath some trees, was a dark car, and when the men inside it saw the truck coming, all four of them stepped out onto the dirt road besides. W.C. Fields and the Three Stooges. I don't know why, but that would be like the greatest, like, you know, say you had a kid with autism and their like autistic fixation was the Three Stooges. And just like 24/7 from the time that they were like 6 years old till like, you know, 38, they just been watching like Three Stooges DVDs, or just like every one of their room is just Three Stooges. They long to meet Harry, Curly, and Smorgas, or whatever his name is. Maybe that's my autistic fixation. Maybe you guys have no idea that behind me right now, there's a fathead poster, a big fucking hang-up right behind me, where most people might have like LaDainian and Tomlinson. I've got Harry, Moe, and Snurley. You grew up with the Three Stooges? You knew them? You were the fourth stooge? The fourth stooge? I mean, dude, oh my god. Fuck yeah. Nyuk, nyuk, nyuk. That's what I'm saying, brother. Oh, why I gotta... I do love that, like... I do fucking love that. That might have actually been one of the best episodes of South Park ever. Whenever they turn, like, the three serial killers. Like, Ted Bundy and... what were the other ones? But they turned them into the Three Stooges. And just like they were just doing some of the most disgusting shit of all time. It's like, hey, what are you doing with that body over there? Stop that. Oh, why I gotta. And then they're just like stabbing each other. Sarah Milliken is pretty funny as a female comedian. Okay, well that's my, there you go. That actually, I forgot to say her. Besides my mom, my favorite female stand-up comedian of all time is Sarah Milliken. Yeah. She fucking rocks, dude. She's so good. Ahead of us, parked underneath some trees, was a dark car, and when the men inside it saw the truck coming, all four of them stepped out onto the dirt road beside. And it hit me all at once as the truck slowed down, and the realization was like ice water being poured down my spine. I opened the passenger door before the truck even stopped, but as I turned to climb out, he reached across, grabbed my arm hard enough to bruise it, and dragged me back towards him to stop me from running. I fought, scratching, kicking, but he was strong, too strong, and he hauled me out into the cold air of the early evening and shoved me toward the four men. Again, I tried to run, but they were too fast and too many. They wanted me to be quiet, to be obedient. And so without a word, one of them hit me in the face before another kicked my ribs. They grabbed me up from the ground, and when I struggled, they hit me again, in the stomach that time, so it knocked the wind out of me. After that, I couldn't move. All I could do was clutch my stomach and gasp for air. They used this time to pick me up and force me into the trunk of their car. They slammed the lid shut, and then, as I lay curled up in that dark space smelling of gasoline and old rubber, I listened to the sound of the engine start and then the tires on the road, on the rough road. Please look up Jordan Jensen when you get a chance. Alright, let's look her up right now. Jordan Jensen. Oh yeah, she's pretty. Oh wait, I've seen her, yeah. She better be a lesbian. She better talk about her hairy bush. Hey everybody, I haven't even shaved anything ever in my life. My armpits stink. Oh my god, what the hell's deodorant? I ain't using that shit. There's 48 years of Three Stooges gold. No other act in history was that long. That sounds kind of like torture, to be honest with you. Do you think the Three Stooges were actually just trapped souls? And now they're down in hell just performing Three Stooges act endlessly, but in this case it actually is real, where they're poking each other with scissors and knives. Who's the most attractive male comedian to me? Probably Gilbert Godfrey. Gilbert Godfrey. Waka waka. I never got to. I swear to God, somebody said that they had a video of his voice when it's normal. It's just such a funny face, that big fucking smile. That big smile, and I always squint my eyes like I'm Korean or something. It just looks like he learned that smile when he was 6 years old and then just never fucking changed it. Nobody ever told me I was ridiculous until I made that very insensitive joke about the earthquake in Japan and lost my very lucrative deal as a fucking stupid TV insurance duck. George Carlin, I don't know who's that? Did he do comedy? You like Shane Gillis. Are you being mean to Shane? Are you being mean to poor little 6'3" offensive lineman Shane? Shane could be fucking wrecked on a 30-pack of Busch Light and absolutely blow you off the O-line in a second. He would be to your quarterback in 0.3. You wouldn't even know what hit you. Matt Rife looks like a blow-up doll. Guys, can you quit being mean to everybody on the net? The internet is not meant for you to say the things that you think in your head. The internet is where you go to be respectful, friendly, maybe a back massage. But for me. They slammed the lid shut, and then as I laid curled up in that dark space... Motherfucker, I can't read shit. Mark Gagon. Fry wants me to look up a guy named Mark Gagon. I know where this is going. Who the hell? Of course that's his favorite fucking comedian. They slammed the lid shut, and then as I lay curled up in that dark space smelling of gasoline and old rubber, I listened to the sound of the engine start and then the tires on the rough road. As they took me someplace I still don't know where. They drove for a long time, so long that when the truck opened again it was dark outside. We were at an old Dasha. I think it's a Dasha. The internet is where I say all the bad things. all of the things I want to put in my journal, but I'm afraid I put it in an NSA database so they know whether I'm a good denizen. Alright, what is this place? Dasha. Seasonal year-round second home located... Oh wait, we should probably look it up. Daksha. Pult maybe. Daha. Took me to an old Daha. I don't know. We'll go with that. Polish. Well, you know what? Double that. Cancel. Smansel that. I'm just gonna look up how to say it with AI. How to say dosha, the Russian word. The Russian. Dacha. Okay. Gotcha, Dolcha. I popped in a few weeks ago asking when you'll do Urbex stories. Do you know when that will? Yeah, it's still gathering, editing, all that good stuff. So I do appreciate the input. Oh, you're Polish. Okay, am I saying it right? D-A-C-H-A. Daka. We were at an old dacha, a kind of holiday home that once belonged to some factory director or party official, and by the time I was taken there, it was half collapsed, the wooden walls all gray and peeling, and a garden overgrown with nettles. After dragging me inside, my kidnappers pushed me into a room containing a dirty single bed and a window which had been boarded over. They kept me blindfolded for most of the time, but I could tell which one was the leader by the way he spoke to the others. And before long, he approached me and told me I needed to Pule. Urban exorcisms. Oh, hey, there's Nay. Somebody was asking about you a little bit ago. They said, where's my girlfriend Nay? Where's my wife-to-be? And I said, I don't know, maybe you should let her out of her cage. And they said, are you insane? Before long, he approached me and told me I needed to telephone my family to deliver ransom demands. And I told him the ugly truth, that my father had nothing, that he drank almost everything he earned, and we had no money, no rich relatives abroad, nothing to give them that would satisfy their demands. I remember that terrible silence as he thought, and then more to reassure his men than anything else, he told them that they would sell me to men who would, and I'm using his words now, know what to do with me. That sounded odd, didn't it? That sounded odd, didn't it? Let me read that again. I'm gonna run that back. Yeah, we're gonna get it right this time. I promise. No mistakes this time. Not a one. You have me word. And then more to reassure his men than anything else, he told them they would sell me to men who would, and I'm using his words now, know what to do with me. And my mind began to think of things I did not want to imagine, because I knew what he meant. I'd be sold into slavery, perhaps the worst kind of slavery. I didn't know if that meant staying or leaving Russia. I just knew it was the end of any life I had dreamed of before. My life for the next few days was constant terror. They kept me locked in that room, feeding me only thin soup, and at every moment I planned to escape. Yeah, Hayden passed away. Rest in peace. Very sad. We don't know the cause, though, which is a bit strange. Dude, it's kind of crazy. I keep seeing like Pokemon like ROM hacks that just look so cool. Like ones with like whole other worlds. Like it's crazy to think that like fan games can just like be better than like all Pokemon games. I even saw one that attempted to, it's like, you know, far from ever being completed or whatever, and it's only like 3 to 4 hours of gameplay, which is a lot for a Pokemon game, but it's like doing like the 2.5D graphics where like the character is pixelated-ish, but then the environment is 3D and it just looks really cool. Have you seen the new season of Tires? Have you seen it? Shane is literally me? What do you mean? Shane stealing my jokes? He is from Pennsylvania. We're pretty much twins. I was his adopted Ethiopian baby. He was my older little brother. Older by age, little because he used to get pushed around on the O-line. I want to hang out in Chernobyl. Also, why is Shane literally me? Also, someone else said that. Now I'm getting curious. Maybe you are that someone else. They kept me locked in that room, feeding me only thin soup, and at every moment I planned my escape. I also planned the other thing, the quiet way out. With a broken bottle or a length of cord if the chance came. It seemed better than what waited for me. And at night I often heard my kidnappers drinking in the main room. It was so strange to hear such monsters talking about such normal things. One of them spoke of his mother, how he was going to buy her something when they'd received their money. I thought of my own and the stories that she'd tell me about finding peace through suffering. And for days and days I felt only hollow. And then one afternoon, hope arrived in the form of a loud and unexpected noise. That morning, one of the kidnappers had driven into the nearest town to pick up whatever supplies were needed. And while I'm not sure how, they caught the attention of a local police officer. The officer tried to stop the man, only for him to jump in his car and drive off, but in doing so, he led the police directly to the dacha that I was being kept prisoner in. I actually don't know if I'm fucking saying that right, dude. What the fuck, dude? Dacha. I remember hearing the kidnapper rush inside shouting about being followed by police leaders. He seemed very angry. The officer tried to stop the man only to find him jump in the car. I don't even know what the fudge happened here. I'm gonna go back a little bit so I can know what's going on. That morning, one of the kidnappers had What's my favorite chocolate bar? I really like the Fast Break. Do you ever have the Fast Break? Once they invented those from Reese's Pieces, the company, Reese's Cups, Racist Cups, it's just, the Fast Breaks are so good. That morning, one of the kidnappers had driven into the nearest town to pick up whatever supplies were needed, and while I'm not sure how, they caught the attention of a local police officer. The officer tried to stop the man only for him to jump in his car and drive off, but in doing so, he led the police directly to the dacha that I was being kept prisoner in. I remember hearing the kidnapper rushing inside, shouting about being followed by the police, and the leader seemed very angry with him, but there was no time for it. I heard the sound of the officers shouting outside, telling them to come out, and then I heard a gunshot. My kidnappers opened fire on the officer with small and larger weapons by the sounds of it. I threw myself to the floor and placed my hands over my head, cursing and screaming and crying. I had hoped that I might be rescued, not die in some hail of bullets fired by the people supposed to rescue me. But even so, he was just one officer, and he must have realized very quickly that he was outnumbered and outgunned, and so he retreated, and I heard the sounds of his car or truck fleeing along the woodland path again. The shooting stopped, and a horrible silence returned. I felt despair at having come so close to rescue, but I also knew the officer had escaped the shootout alive. Also, Hell Let Loose. Has anybody played that game? It's a The first one, Hell Let Loose, is a World War II sort of milsim game, and dude, it's really good. I know the Hell Let Loose Vietnam just came out, but I went back for the first time and played the World War II one just because I thought like the graphics and everything just like looks so good compared to most other World War II games that are out right now, and it was great. It was genuinely a really fun experience, like, you know, and after playing like Arc Raiders so much in those extraction bullshit crap dog shit shooters and the battle royales, I basically have like infinite patience, especially if a game actually allows you to respawn. And dude, it was a good time, because you don't, if you kill somebody from a distance, I mean, there are some like oh, you play it daily, nice, dude. Like there are some indications in the game that you have killed somebody, but like not really. Like there might be a sound cue or something kind of randomly, maybe a dink of the helmet, but other than that, you don't know that you killed someone. And then by the end of the match, we had won, and I was checking the kill feed or whatever, and it said like I got 5 kills. I'm like, I don't even remember killing those people. But there's something about like all the interactions you have when you're like waiting to go in, or you have like a shootout around a corner with like a group of dudes, because it's 50 v 50, which is fucking like epic, you know. And it just like feels awesome. Do I know the show Tires? Yeah, Tires is a great show. You should. I watched the first 2 seasons. I'll have to check out the third. I was gonna mention Twix, but I also love Galaxy Chocolate the most. Minstrels, console or PC? It's on or I have it on PC. I don't even know if like Hell Let Loose is on console. Is it? I don't even know. What's up, Mom Blue? Where you been? What you been up to? Not a fan of Cadbury's chocolate. Too sweet and artificial tasting. Yeah, Cadbury's kind of gross. I feel like Cadbury's, like the Cadbury eggs, is something that you just like take and put it in the microwave just to see if it'll explode. Just to test its like integrity against like a nuke. The shooting stopped, and a horrible silence returned. I felt despair at having come so close to rescue, but I also knew the officer had escaped the shootout alive. And so even though I was alone and my future had already been sold, I felt a faint glimmer of hope, knowing the police would no doubt return, and when they did, they came in their droves. A few hours later, I began to hear the sound of distant engines and the occasional shout. The police had returned, many more of them, and they had returned in larger and heavier vehicles that they parked at a distance from the cabin. Now my kidnappers became very fearful, and they shouted at each other a lot. And then suddenly, their leader had an idea. He dragged me from the room, forced me outside while I was still blindfolded, and then put a gun to my head. And in full view of the police, he made clear that they had a hostage, and that any attempt to arrest them would result in only my execution. And after that, the standoff begun. It lasted what felt like a long, long time. I didn't sleep at all that night, not even in fits and Been playing Crimson Desert pretty good, the melting pot of all the classics. Nice, yeah, I heard there was some pretty big updates on the controls, because I heard the controls were like really convoluted. Had a guinea pig named Twix, and she had 4 babies, so we named the 2 girls Snickers and Hershey's. We named the boys Peanut and M&M. That's cute. That's too cute. That's so cute that I'm crying. Oh, Toblerone. Oh yeah, I honestly had, there's like some candies that were made in like the year 1904, and then they just like haven't changed any of their branding or anything, and I swear to God, like Toblerone is like one of them. Like this is like a candy that they like found after like raiding Hitler's factory or something, and they're like, this is pretty good, and then they brought it over to America. And they've only ever sold one, and that was to whoever said they liked it in the chat and me. And somehow they've been able to sustain it. The controls are still garbage. I'm playing on PS5, totally made for PC. Crimson Edge. Oh, okay, that's annoying. You think? I never understood that. That's like that's an issue with like Japanese game development that to me, that's been like one of their biggest problems is like, they tend to make like controls of games absolute fucking like garbage, as well as like as convoluted as possible. And it's just strange to me. It's like maybe the Japanese mind is just like far too complex that like whenever we complain, they're like, stupid American can't figure shit out or whatever. But it's like, I don't even know. You like left click and then you hold at a 1/4 degree angle to the left slightly while pressing L1, you know, 50 times, and eventually, you know, Mount Fuji explodes or something like that. But it's just so much shit in like Japanese games is like not intuitive, terrible UI. That's kind of like why I hated like playing Dark Souls when it first came on the scene, because I'm like, what even is this shit? What brought up games again? Misty hates when I talk about games. She likes it when she asks me like would I be okay with a partner who farts in bed? That's like her big important questions of the stream. She doesn't want to hear about any fucking nerd shit. She wants to hear about like, what can she get away with in a hypothetical relationship? And guess what? Nothing. If my partner ever farted in bed, they're going right back to Russia. Do I like Souls-likes? No, I don't. I think they fucking suck. I think the art's cool and the world's cool and all that kind of stuff, but I honestly think like as far as action RPGs go, I think Dark Souls has done one of the biggest damages to like that genre of hack and slash or whatever you want to call for basically an endless amount of time, because not only are the controls shitty, but the games are unnecessarily hard for no reason that you don't even, you know, like you don't even really get to experience it sometimes because it's so frustrating. And then the fact that everyone's excuse is like, we'll get good. And then on top of that, the only fucking thing they can ever think of that somehow like people that know the intricacies between like Bloodborne and Elden Ring, where they're like, well, actually, dude, when you dodge roll and parry and iframe in that game, it's way faster in Bloodborne. The combat's like way faster. It's like there's no fucking difference between pressing fucking dodge roll 50 goddamn times in a row and memorizing like a boss's like movements and attack patterns. Like, what about thinking of some new fucking ideas for the, you know, the fucking hack and slash genre in general? And the fact that like games like God of War like try to make themselves more like Dark Souls, it's just like, we're just gonna be, it's the same way that like Call of Duty had some degree of success and we've just been like stuck with like games that are just like Call of Duty for like over a decade. It's finally kind of getting away from it a little bit. Joe, you don't understand, I absolutely love screaming at my screen. I live for it. Same, dude. Just go play fucking Overwatch or League of Legends or some total fucking brain dead shit. But I mean, like, I understand like the world of those Souls games are cool. It's pretty, it's neat, it's open-ended, it doesn't hold your hand. But I just want some new ideas, bro. Like when I played that one game where you're like a little fox and it's like called like Cap or Minish or I don't even know what the fuck it is, but it's like basically Zelda, but you're like a little fox and it's like isometric, like bird's eye view. The fact that those developers played Dark Souls and then made the game hard like Dark Souls when all I really wanted was something of similar caliber to the old school Zelda challenge that you might get on the Game Boy or the SNES or whatever, and that would have been totally fine. I would have enjoyed their entire world A-okay. But so you wouldn't recommend playing Dark Souls? No, never. I mean, I would if you like pain. I would if you like don't have any standards for gaming, and you don't like, you know, you've pretty much given up on any sort of novelty ever reaching the hobby. And it's certainly, it's like, at least it's not developed by like Western devs who made like fucking the new Halo. That's also how I know like Justin never played the new Halo when he said he was, I'm going to be busy this weekend. We're going to be playing the Halo remake. Oh, I didn't even hear him talk about Halo once after that. I don't believe for a second he didn't even know what a video game is. He just scrolls his reels all day, never interacting with anything of true artistic value. Justin, you didn't mention like Halo's been out for like a month at this point. You've not mentioned it. I don't believe it. I don't believe you touched it. You already beat it. Oh, I bet you did. You beat it so hard that you didn't even want to talk about it. You're like, yeah, it was a breeze. I won't even mention anybody. I just destroyed it on Legendary with my boys. Couch co-op style. Me and the fellas all fucking oiled up for a weekend of gaming. And buzz balls. We grabbed a couple of chocolate milk buzz balls from Sheets and went and played Halo couch co-op. That's what we did this weekend. We got all the skulls. Get the heck out of here. I didn't sleep at all that night. Not even in fits like I had for the previous days. And night came and went. Morning arrived, and I just busied myself by listening to the sounds coming from the police officers, hoping that I might be able to figure out what they were going to do and when. But it was impossible, and I realized I was only listening to comfort myself, to keep my mind from being completely consumed by the deep sense of dread that I had reached the place that I would die. And for almost 48 hours, the police negotiated through these loudspeakers, offering safe passage to my kidnappers if they would only release me. But they refused. They wanted money, a car, guarantees a trap would not be sprung, and the police officers talking through the megaphone sounded calm and in control. Blah, blah, blah. All right. We're going to test Justin's knowledge of Halo to see if he truly gives a hoot about that series. Tell me, and this should be an easy question, who is the Forerunner monitor originally tasked with maintaining one of the Halo installations? Don't look it up on the internet. Nobody tell him. Nobody tell him. Cut grapes in half and then cook them in the microwave. Dude, I should have given a countdown. Hold on, we're going to do it right now. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. What? What does that even mean? Hurry, spark? Oh, okay. Hurry, spark. Who the hell's that? Guilty Spark's fucking brother? You hate that level. Oh man, what a liar. What an absolute freaking fiend coming in here, basically pretending to be an acolyte. Guys, can you guys all ask, okay, any other Halo fans in here, ask Justin Halo trivia. He has 15 seconds to respond to each question, and these can't be ones that he can look up. You gotta think hard for these. I need you to light them up. The police officer talking through the megaphone sounded calm and in control, while my kidnappers sounded terrified and argued among themselves. Now, it might sound like I had lost my mind, but hearing their fear brought me much It might sound like I had lost my mind, but hearing their fear brought me incredible amounts of joy, at least until they began proposing to kill me and escaping from the cabin at night while they had the chance to slip away into the darkness. They planned to act that night and had still not decided whether or not they would kill me. Some wanted to kill me and run, others said that I was their only shield, but before they could come to a decision was made for them. I didn't see the men who saved my life, not before and not during and not after. They were like ghosts, moving through the undergrowth at the sides of the cabin in complete darkness, getting closer than I would have thought possible. And the only police knew Your uncle literally worked on Halo back in then? Oh, really? His name was John Microsoft. He was the CEO and creator of Xbox. Your uncle is Bill Gates, I bet. You ever watch Red and Blue on YouTube? Yeah, that's going back. Whatever happened to them? It was like Rooster Teeth. Didn't they go out of business or something? Or have some sort of controversy? Joel's mad because I whooped his butt in Blood Gulch back in the day. One match, he never let it go. Blood Gulch. Okay. Oh, man. Everything I want to ask is just so easily look-upable. Yeah, what does Cortana's feet smell like? Please confirm. Joel, I beat Justin. He didn't answer my basic question about the main character's name. Oh my god. Jim Mackhard? Jim Macrohard? What the fuck? This guy's a freaking lying sack of freaking plasma. What's up, Kathy? I need a dedicated stream for just Joel and Justin roast battles. He wants to be a gamer so bad, bro. Just wants to fit in with the nerds, but he was always like the cool, mysterious semi-theater, like too cool for theater because he's gonna go hang out with his gay older boyfriend guy, Go drink with the college kids. Ooh. Whoa, well, guess what? Those were predators, and I warned you. Only the police knew that they were there, and then once they were in position, the night exploded. High-caliber rounds punched through the thick wooden walls of the dacha as if the boards were made out of paper. The sound was enormous and continuous roar. The sound was an enormous, continuous roar for maybe 5 to 10 seconds as one kidnapper fell, then another, and then another. They screamed as they fell, and then when a bullet found my shoulder, so did I, as a hot white pain spurred through me sideways and... Did I go to your high school? Did you stalk me? I was your theater teacher. He never showed up. He was never there. He was supposed to be my Macbeth. Couldn't remember his lines for shit. He was always stoned on mescaline and salvia. An interesting mix. Certainly funny when he was drooling in the auditorium. They screamed as they fell. Then, when a bullet found my shoulder, so did I, as a hot white pain spurned me sideways and spun me sideways. It is kind of crazy, I really do wonder what it's like to get shot by bullets. You know what I mean? You always just see those random piles of shit that pop up on, Instagram. And it's just death video. You don't want to see death videos, but it knows you won't look away. Isn't it kind of funny, all the social media websites were like, now come on, guys. If you say that stuff, that's hateful and it's going to eventually result in violence 200 years from now. But then, a week later, they're like, all right, here's a video of a guy getting exploded with a fucking meteor, or, getting caught up in, a lathe, or, this one I saw a little bit ago, it was, Some guy was up in some guard tower, and then like 3 dudes who I guess were like part of some Venezuelan cartel gang, like all tried to like take him, but he had the high ground, and they were all like slowly creeping up on like some steps, and then he pops out from the window and just starts blasting them, you know? Bah, 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 bah. But you know, bullets are so weird, like they just end up in strange places. And then it's like the one dude like falls off like the catwalk or whatever, and he like seemingly like cracks his ankle, but then the other 2 like they're like running like as fast as they can while like limping. But I mean, that's like the weirdest thing about like blood loss, is that you just have all this adrenaline until you just like don't, and then you just see them like they're going, and then they're just like and then they fall over, you know. And yeah, now I have PTSD, I guess. I don't know. Angel, thank you for and welcome to the Butterstock Cult. You now have access to bonus contento. Also shot myself in the hand by accident with a 22 short. It instantly went numb, and it didn't hurt until later. Thankfully, it's the smallest caliber available. That sucks, man. I hope you didn't get like nerve damage or anything like that. They screamed as they fell. Then when a bullet found my shoulder, so did I, as a hot white pain spun me sideways and onto the ground. Then there was silence again, but only for a few seconds before the sounds of officers rushing the cabin filled my ears. They pulled me out, yelling that I'd been shot, and I was then rushed to an ambulance where the last thing I remember before the hospital were panicked voices and the smell of antiseptic. When I woke up, I was told that I was in Moscow, and in my hazy painkiller-induced state, all I could think was, burpee. Burpee. Time to do some burpees. I wonder if that's why they named them burpees, because every time you do them, you're like just about to throw up. That's why my heart decided to jump 40 beats when I stood up earlier, dehydrated. JK, I've been drinking fluids. Emily, I was thinking, from all these health problems you've been talking about recently in the stream, I was thinking, have you ever thought about getting into World's Strongest Man competitions? Or World's Strongest Woman? What if in like an actuality you were just like built to be absolutely fucking like yoked with like a 600-pound bar on your back, racing like other Amazonian women? I think this might literally cure you. It's actually hit my pinky bone and curved around the bone and didn't get stuck in my hand. It hurt a little bit when it's cold out, but it was 15 years ago. Damn, that's crazy. That's just gotta be a scary sensation in general, just like a firecracker like going off right in your fucking hand. Joe, how do I ask you hail a lore? How about, bet you won't. You should do it. You should do it. Just see what I know. I probably won't know anything, but we'll give it a whirl. Queef! Thank you for the 2. Boner! That's what I'm saying, bro. I've been saying that all night. Been trying to hold it back. You guys don't understand how exciting these streams are. I've just got like a fucking full-on chubster all night. It's wild. When I woke up, I was told I was in Moscow. And in my hazy, painkiller-induced state, all I could think was, I made it. The doctor said I was lucky and that all I'd have as a souvenir of my ordeal was a scar just below the collarbone. And once I was well enough, I was discharged, and I had this feeling that Moscow would be different, larger and safer than either Perm or Kazan. But instead, I found a rotting, stinking carcass. I stayed only long enough to gather what papers I needed, and then the first chance I got, I left for West Germany. I crossed into the part of Berlin where the wall had stood, arriving almost exactly 1 year after it fell. The concrete was gone in places, the graffiti still bright, people moving freely where once they had been only... Who originally released the flood? Oh, those the Forerunners. Did it to prevent... Why did they do that? They released the flood Or no? Oh, wait. Good question. Actually, wait, the Forerunners were like, were trying to gather, at least what I recall, the Forerunners were trying to gather a shit ton of, like, basically they were us, even though, like, Halo 4, I think, changed that shit, which was stupid as fuck. Or maybe it was 5, but, like, I remember the Forerunners were, like, originally us, and they were trying to gather, like, DNA. But I remember at one point, the Flood kind of came on a meteorite, but maybe that was in Halo 2. But the Flood, who the hell did release the Flood? Was it the Forerunners on themselves? Why would they do that to themselves? No frowns. Welcome to the Buttersock Call. You have access to bonus content. Been a long time. No frowns. What's going on? Yeah, I released the Flood into my local sewer. The worst part is I did at work when I was a machinist, and I do the night shifts almost, working as an old crappy 22 revolver in between running the machines. Oh my god. You had to lie to your boss. That's hilarious. That sounds biblical. Yeah, the Halo lore is pretty sick. That's why people were pretty pissed about the new one, kind of like changing some weird shit, or just in general, like 343 Studios changing a bunch of shit between like Halo 4 and 5, and just like that whole fucking squad just generally not knowing how to fucking run anything. I mean, it's kind of embarrassing, honestly. One of the biggest franchises ever. Dude, God, I remember, dude, oh my god. I remember, I think, what's the newest one? Halo Infinite. There was like, you know, it came out, and then like, you know, it was a whole year, and it just like, it sucked, everybody didn't like it or whatever. The Flood are what remained of the precursors after the conflict with the Forerunners. After the conflict with the Forerunners? What conflict with who? With the conflict like internal conflict of the Forerunners? But I thought, like, weren't the Forerunners like using the Halo weapon to kill the Flood? Like, how did the Flood, where did it even come from? Didn't it just like randomly find them or something like that? What's up, Drew C? Now we gotta fucking look this up. Who originally... Where did the Flood come from Halo? In the Halo universe, the Flood originated from the Precursors, an ancient godlike spacefaring race. When the Forerunners rebelled and nearly wiped out the Precursors that's who they've been, the Precursors. Millions of years ago, the surviving Precursors turned themselves into a fine, regenerative powder which corrupted over eons into a biological horror that became the Flood parasite. Interesting. I didn't know any of that shit. Okay, well, we better keep asking questions. So there was the Forerunners and then the Precursors. So the Forerunners were the creations of the Precursors? It's going to say... Oh, yes, the Forerunners were created by the Precursors. The Precursors were an ancient multi-dimensional race that a multi-dimensional race? What the fuck? That seeded countless species across the galaxy, including both the Forerunners and humanity. I thought the Forerunners were like literally humans. That's so weird. The creator-creation relationship. Precursors crafted the Forerunners to be highly intelligent, technologically advanced. Precursors judged their creation by their fitness to hold the mantle of responsibility, a philosophical duty to preserve and protect life in the galaxy. The Precursors eventually judged the Forerunners as untrustworthy of the mantle, choosing instead to pass it to ancient humanity. Driven by jealousy and the refusal to surrender their power, the Forerunners launched a genocidal surprise attack, nearly wiping out the Precursors. Interesting. And yeah, they were using it as a weapon to eliminate all life. Justin, what's your favorite video game lore? And it can't be Mortal Kombat. Don't know what's worse, last recording stories or this topic. You don't like trucker stories? Have you listened to any stories? I thought the stories so far were good. I'm feeling like pretty on point with them tonight. Oh, Elder Scrolls, okay. Yeah, it's pretty sick. Do I apologize to Justin now? No, because I'm psychic and I know whenever people look things up on Google. On Google. I am literally Gemini AI. Why do you think I'm a Gemini? What about the progenitals or mixing up with the homeworld lore? Dude, I don't fucking know. I just know that there's like a monkey race or something that comes out of an egg. The concrete was gone in places, the graffiti still bright, and people moving freely where once there had only been guards and dogs. I stood there with my small bag and felt the wind on my face, and for the first time in many months I felt like I was safe again. And it was there, near a cafe that had once been on the eastern side. And it was there, near a cafe that had once been on the eastern side, that I met the man who would become my husband. We began dating, and he didn't ask too many questions at first. And when I finally told him parts of the story, he listened, hugged me, and then kissed me. And we had a simple wedding, and then went on to have 2 daughters and a son. I learned German while working in a bakery and then later in a small office, and as the years came and went, so did the gray hairs and grandchildren. I've been fortunate enough to serve. What's your best creepy, sultry trucker voice? Yeah. Yeah, you're gonna get in my truck, and I'm gonna deliver my Amazon packages to your house, and you can see how it's all done. You can see how the cookies is made and delivered and such. So when I was a young boy, my father took me into the city to see a marching band. That's cool. How was that? I've been fortunate enough to experience true happiness in life, and for that I am truly grateful. Yet there are some days when I feel as if the girl who was forced into that trunk never left that dacha. The real me stayed there on the floor among the spent casings, as if I died there, and the rest has been a long and happy afterlife. My mother used to speak of heaven when I was small, a place of light that served as the inheritance for the meek. Not a paradise of angels, but simply the years that were given back to me after the cabin, years I did not expect to have. The girl who trusted a man because he looked like her grandfather, the girl who lay in a dark trunk listening to the road, she's still there in the woods outside that dacha. A part of me will always be standing on that porch, with a gun against my head, wondering if I'll live or if I'll die. I've been hardcore lurking, but listening. Justin is a total gamer. He kicked my ass in anime gay dating sim. Oh my god. Justin, they're going after you, bro. They're going for the deep cuts. They checked your Steam library. It all checks out. Living Joel means loving the troll Joel and paying the troll toll. It comes with the territorial. That's true. If I pick on you guys in chat, it means you've been chosen. Or you chose. I don't remember. Ugh. Wowda, man. Hey, Sonomi, what's going on? Love has been spread in the air tonight. You've been selected for loosh farming. The old loosh will be extracted. My friend sent me a text that says boom shakalaka. But I don't want to look at it because I'm a little scared. What the hell? When someone sends you boom shakalaka, you get a little worried. Oh, okay, never mind. Oh, sweet. We are going to see a rugby game. Do you guys like rugby? we will eat guacamole. Alright. Biz, absolutely. Now I want a workout routine to tone. Listen. It's hard enough for dudes to gain muscle. Girls having this obsession with like toning, the number one thing you could do is literally like build the muscle so that your body's like overall metabolic like baseline is just going to be better. So don't be afraid to get down and dirty with some eats and some lifts. All right. Last story, by the way. BT dubs. All right. I used to drive trucks on the graveyard shift, or at least I was mostly doing night runs anyways, and for a while, something about driving along dark and empty roads felt sort of relaxing. But all that changed when I was 23 and just a few years into running long haul for a small outfit out of Amarillo. Amarillo. Iraq and Afghanistan. Okay. Rugby equals hardcore soccer? I don't think so. Because you're not, I mean, you can kick it and chase after it, but it's mainly just like trying to pass it behind you and a lot of tackling, a lot of hitting. I don't know. I feel bad. Like, it was exciting to watch like soccer during the World Cup or whatever, but I just like don't have any respect for the game of football. Like, I do, but like compared to rugby, compared to football, I mean, you're like you gotta be a runner, you gotta be like in great shape in rugby, but you also have to just be a fucking badass, you know what I mean? To just like ruck people, fucking plow into people, take hits. It's rough, man. I don't think Sam or Tea Time would get that warm of a welcome. Why? What did I do? I've upset my beloved Swifties. But all that changed when I was 23, and just a few years into running long haul for a small outfit out of Amarillo. So I was westbound, run through... CTE. What's funny is like in rugby, the likelihood of like CTEs are like less because the manner in which like people tackle each other, like the distribution of like the tackles are just like way different. Because it seems like in football, like everyone just like goes balls to the wall, like absolutely like throwing their body at people. Doesn't mean you can't still like take a huge hit to the head or something along that lines, but just like the distribution of like the physics of the hit is, in football it's like a car crash sometimes, but in rugby it's kind of like a pinpoint hammer, you know, that then brings you down, which sometimes can be in like a concentrated area can maybe distribute like a painful stinging sensation, maybe like a broken bone of sorts. But I don't know, in football I think they just go like, just the fact that you have pads allows people to just go balls to the wall, so you like, even with the helmet on, you still like smash your head very hard. I'm a hitologist. As I just be saying random shit. It's fun to just like make things up. I was told by an angel. I was on a westbound run through New Mexico, a real middle of nowhere sort of stretch between Tucumcari. Oh my god. Tucumcari. Tucumcari. Ever broken a bone? Thankfully not. I don't know how. I mean, I did like, someone stepped on my fucking pinky toe once and it felt like it snapped, but Maybe it was just really bruised or something. Ever play broom ball? Yeah, every day back at Hogwarts. I was on a westbound run through New Mexico, a real middle-of-nowhere sort of stretch between Tucumcari and Albuquerque. The produce I was hauling needed to hit the warehouse by morning, so while I was on a pretty tight schedule, the road was just as calming as it ever was. It was a clear night, the stars were big and bright, and the moon was just a small, skinny crescent. Skinny crescent. It was a clear night. The stars were big and bright, and the moon was just the small, skinny crescent way up high. I was doing a steady 65 with the windows cracked just enough to let in some cool air. The radio was on low, tuned to some talk station that I was kind of half listening to, and then after hours and hours of nothing but the road and my mind, I started to kind of Dr. Snooze. With a cleat, yeah, like everybody was like getting hyped before the game. It was like my first varsity game as like a 10th grader. And then I just remember like some fucking douchebag who wasn't supposed to be wearing like metal cleats because he just like was against the rules to wear metal cleats. He had these stupid fucking metal cleats that like as he was jumping up and down landed right on my like pinky toe, and I just felt like a crunch. And just immediately was like, I hurts a lot, help me. And that was it. It was the worst thing ever. And then after hours and hours of nothing but asphalt, my mind was starting to kind of go blank in the way it tends to after the center lines start to gently hypnotize you. And then, out of nowhere, something moved in my headlights. It stepped out from the right shoulder. It didn't bolt like a bear or a coyote might. It stepped out, upright like a human would. And in that flash I saw a person, I'm sure of it. Arms, legs, the head on top as clear as day, and I think they were dark clothes too, maybe, or maybe that's just how the light was hitting them. I stopped the brakes just hard enough that the whole rig shuddered while the trailer moved forward. Strauss, what's up, bro? Those metal cleats are weapons, it's crazy. Stop the brakes. I waffle stomped the brakes. What's up, Jessica? I stomped the brakes hard enough that the whole rig shuddered while the trailer shoved forward. I hit the horn too out of pure reflex, but it was already way too late. There was a heavy, solid thump under the right front fender. There was a heavy, solid thump under the front right fender, the kind of impact that you feel in your teeth and your gut all at the same time. Something scraped along the undercarriage for a second, and then it was gone. I brought her to a stop maybe 50 yards past, flicking my hazards on while my heart was pounding so hard I could hear it over the idle. My hands were shaking on the wheel, and my first thoughts were pure panic. I mean, I just hit somebody out there in the middle of the desert with no cars around for miles. I sat there for a few seconds in pure shock, and then somehow managed to pull myself together enough to grab a flashlight and climb down onto the road. I almost didn't want to shine it back there. I didn't want to see what I'd done. But when I did, the road behind me was completely empty. There was nobody in the lane, no broken shape on the shoulder, just yellow lines and dark road. But while there was no body, there was still a heck of a lot of blood. There was a big dark smear starting. Joel, please reference the official Let's Read Disciplinary Records for us. For what? We're at 405. Hey, there we go. Cool. We gotta get back to 500 though. Was Dunksore banned? No. I don't think anybody's been banned in forever. Even whenever I had like some arguments with people in chat, I just put them on like a 24-hour torture chamber. They still get to come back in. There was a big dark smear starting roughly where the impact would have been. I followed it with a flashlight, watching it trail off the road onto the dirt and into the shrub. I followed it with a... One girl in the comments said you banned her. I don't know. People say shit, bro. I don't fucking know what they're talking about. Like half the time I make like a joke and people are like, really? Did you actually like go to the moon that one time? So I don't have a lot of faith in any sort of truth tellers. Why is your dad so cruel to you? Whose dad? My dad's cool. I love my dad. His name is Fry. He's always a nice boy. I followed it with a flashlight, watching it trail off the road onto the dirt and into the scrub. Now it was fresh too. The wetness of it was catching the beam of my flashlight, and not a little spray either. I'm talking thick drops and drag marks where something had either crawled or been dragged away. And I remember standing there with the light shaking in my hand, calling out, "Hey, you okay? Anybody out there?" But there was no answer. Just the sound of the wind moving through the dry brush, like that soft kind of rattling sound that you hear in the high desert. The blood trail headed off the shoulder and into the... Been listening for years, quality has never diminished. Thank you, friend. Good to see you. What do you think of Bear from Obsession? Yeah, let's get on that fucking stupid ass topic. Oh my god. I did see though that Indy Navarrete is going to be I think Rogue. She's going to be Rogue in the new X-Men or something that comes out next year, or 2028. So that's cool. I'm glad that she can like leverage the one film to like, I mean, right into a superhero role. Like, bro, if you get a superhero role, like you made it. I mean, at this point in time and like in Hollywood, to be a superhero, like to have a superhero position, it's like Hollywood's cooked, right, for like new ideas. So to be a superhero is like it's just like, that's like easy money. No one's happy about that. She would have been better as Kitty. I don't know who Kitty is. Why would she be bad as Rogue though? Like, who would be what's the I don't even know the differentiation as like Rogue. I don't even know. I guess I don't know much about the fucking X-Men bullshit, but I'm just glad she was able to like jump from one thing to the next. I should be the new Spawn. Spawn is fucking sick though. I love... Who was the guy that played in like the old Spawn? Spawn should definitely come back. Like whatever we had in the 90s, that Spawn was good, but we need something like highly stylized, like something like really fucking badass, you know what I mean? Surprised I caught your stream. I thought you didn't stream this late anymore. Yeah, sometimes we get a little night owlish. Michael J. White. Yeah, Michael J. White's pretty fucking cool. They should remake Deliverance. Rogue needs to have massive bazoombas. That's what I remember for her as a kid. Well, I think, what's her name? Indy Navarrete actually does have some pretty big honkers, so I think she's set on that. Do I like Daredevil? I don't really know anything about Daredevil. I just remember when it had Ben Affleck, I could like give a shit less. I found a box about 75 out of the first 100 issues and a full box of early Spawn figures. Oh, that's sick. From the McFarlane Toys. Did you see they're looking for a new Hulk? You should audition for Hulk. Dude, that would be so sick. That would be so fucking cool. I can't believe they're getting a new Hulk. Are they like resetting it or something? Maybe they should. I hope they get somebody good and it's not bullshit. Well, I don't know. Who's that one guy that in X-Men who turns into like a blue creature? Beast or whatever? I feel like maybe that guy who was in the most recent one is like Beast or whatever he is, like, could play as like Bruce Banner. Thank you, Joel, for being a comforting voice through a really difficult time. Means a lot to me, sir. Thank you. You're welcome. Good to see you, Canadian. Thanks for being here. Joel Janner. Oh, man, yeah, the Hulk is... I love the Hulk, man. But there was no answer. Just the sound of the wind moving through the dry brush, like that soft kind of rattling sound you hear in the high desert. The blood trail headed off the shoulder and into the scrub away from the road. I should have gotten back in the truck and called it in right then, which is what the company handbook always says. But I was young, scared, and half convinced that I'd just killed somebody, so I followed, trying to help. With my flashlight beam cutting through the dark, I could see the trail clear enough at first, with dark spots on the pale dirt and then larger smears on rocks. They went maybe 30 or 40 yards before the ground got uneven. Oh my god. Me as Mystique. Honestly, I would just be Mystique, but then for some reason the director would just have to have me naked all the time. Be like, we'll just add it in with special effects later, don't worry. Just keep your clothes off. Just sitting in the director's chair right next to him, just completely naked. I'd be his assistant. What's up, Captain Commenter? How we doing, dude? You should audition for Robin to act alongside Robert Pattinson. Do they need a Robin? A fucking Robin. I think I'm just like... I'm cooked, man. There's just, like, I don't even know. I'm 36. Like, there's just no... I'm no boy wonder. I'm no boy wonder anymore. I'm more like... Gravedigger. Corpse. I'm corpse guy. Indy Neveretti is dating the kid from Iron Man 3. Kid from Iron Man 3. Grown up? Who is it? Ty Simpkins? Oh, he's a good looking dude, I guess. Wonder how they meet. I'm always curious, like, how actors meet each other. Wonder if he just, like, DM'd her and she's like, okay, I'll fuck you. Alright, you got me this time. Come on in. Skeletor. I would like to be a villain. Oh shit, Iris, what's up, dude? Where you been? You're missing out. It went maybe 30 or 40 yards before the ground got uneven and the scrub got thicker. I kept calling out, my eyes peeled for any kind of movement, and then I heard it. It came from ahead and a little to the left, past the edge of my light. It wasn't the wind, and it definitely wasn't a coyote either. It was a hiss, a low, wet one that sounded like it was coming through a large animal. Oh shit, I gotta make that sound scarier. A large piss. I met this girl yesterday who said she was 40 and the bartender didn't want to let her drink because he thought she was too young. It's kind of random. Did you see the trailer for the Robert Pattinson Chris Hansen movie? Yeah, I did hear him. He'd like completely changed his voice. That was like the most impressive part, is that he just like doesn't, like, is able to completely shift like that. But I saw a comment under it that had like a lot of likes where it's like, it was just made no fucking sense. It was like, bro doesn't want us to remember, or like bro wants it made no fucking sense. It was like, bro wants to do anything he can to get us to forget that he was in Twilight or something. And it's just like, what do you mean to forget you were in Twilight? Well, like, he's an actor. Actors go from job to job to job. Like, what is he, like, what Like, you're in a thing, and then now you have a new job in a new fucking acting role. Like, what? I don't know. You, like, try to, like, get into the head of, like, people, and you're just, like, you just assume, like, all of these people that you interact with in the comments section were just in, like, one big baby ward. You know how they, like, sit in their, like, little cribs, and then someone came around like the fucking reverse tooth fairy, but just kind of gave them, like, a gentle, like, smack in the forehead, or like a gentle smack in a soft spot with, like, a hammer, and it just, like, permanently fucked up their brain forever, and that's, like, the comments they're leaving. I don't know, it just didn't make any sense. Like, when you get a new job, you're not, like, trying to get people to forget about... I mean, and Twilight was, like, wildly, massively successful. The fact that he was able to, like, even, like, shift out of that, yeah, to, like, Mickey 17, Batman, all these kind of, like, roles, it's pretty you know what I mean? The Lighthouse. Like, shit like that for Robert Pattinson is pretty fucking impressive especially after being, you know, in one of those, like, forever roles that some people get. Doesn't that make him a good actor? They want to be like Ryan Reynolds. Yeah, I know. Like, I don't really know what... It's the same people that you play with, like, in Ark Raiders. They just... It's like, it's all, like, NPC clones of each other. Like those, that, like, Buzz Lightyear meme where they're all on, like, the toy shelf. Just being brought out and here to say, like, bro, what the fuck, bro? Bro, what are you doing, bro? What the fuck, bro? It came from ahead and a little to the left, past the edge of my light. It wasn't the wind, and it definitely wasn't a coyote either. It was a hiss, a low, wet one that sounded like it was coming through a large animal. I froze, scanning back and forth with my flashlight, but I couldn't make out where the sound was coming from. And then suddenly, something shifted in the dark. I heard the sound of dry branches scraping and then a heavy body moving low to the ground. I heard that hiss again, louder and longer this time, and the sound was almost like there was some sort of rattle underneath of it. My skin went cold all over as every instinct I had screamed that not only was whatever made that sound not a person, but it was the last thing I wanted to meet without anything but a flashlight and a pocket knife on my hip. I turned and ran. I'm not even ashamed to say it either. I ran, and I didn't look back. I was so scared and ran so fast that I stumbled once or twice and nearly dropped the light in the process, but I kept going until my boots hit the pavement again, and then within seconds I was back in my cab, with the doors locked, breathing hard as the engine still idled. I watched the darkness of the road like a hawk, waiting and watching for something to approach out of it, but nothing came. After a few minutes, I pulled the CB and tried to raise somebody, and then when that didn't work, I used the phone after running up and down the shoulder until I got a bar. State police took the call, and then after I told them what happened, they said to stay put and that they'd send a unit. A couple of state troopers got there maybe 30 to 40 minutes later. They walked the road with me, looked at the smear on that asphalt, and then followed the trail a short ways up with their own lights. One of them crouched and took samples and swabs and photos, the whole 9 yards, and then asked me to walk them through what happened again. I knew they were testing me for... I wonder if there's any, like, animals whose blood is, like, sweet. You know what I mean? Like, you know how, like, humans have pretty much killed and eaten fucking everything? I mean, we probably, like, tasted their blood at some point. Probably their meat, tangentially. But you're just, like, curious, like, I feel like at some point, the Chinese, or maybe, like, the Mongolians had found some creature that just, like, has sweet blood, and they make, like, you know, like, sweet blood soup. It's got to exist. You should do a whole episode in The Voice. What's The Voice? Isn't that what I do, the whole episode? The Voice? Joel, play Balloons TD Battles 2 instead of Balloons TD 6. It's fun. Okay. Maybe some herbivores. Oh yeah, I guess like with the bears, like bears eat those blueberries and might make it sweet. Joel, someone said you blocked their other account. Bro, I don't fucking know, bro. Who gives a shit? Like, literally, if someone got their account blocked for whatever reason, they probably been saying some stupid shit. I don't really care. It's probably been a while. Even though I've been struggling with my mental health lately and haven't been turning into your streams, I've been listening to you. It helped me sleep, so thanks for being consistent with your uploads. Yeah, no worries, Iris. Stop by anytime. Hope you're doing okay. I knew they were testing me for inconsistencies or whatever, but I told them the exact same story like 3 different times. It looked like a person stepped out all very deliberate, and the dark clothing, I think anyway, it made it so I didn't see them until it was too late. They were polite but without a body. I could understand why they doubted me. And out there, people hit animals all the time. Deer, elk, heck, even the occasional cow that wanders through a fence. Now one of them shone his light under my bumper and found more blood and some hair or fur stuck in the grill. They took samples of the stuff too. They're telling me that they'd be in touch after they ran it, and then just told me to get the truck checked in the morning for some damage. And I have to have a disagreement with someone who said Joel was AI. He wouldn't click any of the live streams or anything, but no pictures of him exist. That guy was a potato. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I'm AI. I just talk normal and switch back and forth. I've been stalked by a mountain lion on shrooms, and I can confirm large mamas eat frequencies that you can't detect. What do you mean? They took samples of that stuff too, and then after telling me that they'd be in touch after they ran it, they just told me to get the truck checked in the morning for damage and write up a report in case I needed it for legal stuff. I sat in my cab the rest of the night until a relief driver came out to finish the load, and then since I knew that there was 0 chance of me getting any sleep, I stayed up drinking until I was too drunk to stay awake. Now, I didn't dream about it, thank God, but the next morning I could... couldn't help but replay in my head the way it should. Hey guys, I'm coming out as AI. That'd be such a funny video. I wonder how many people would believe that if I made a video saying like, hey guys, just want to be real with you. My whole existence has been AI since the beginning. Just so you know, we've had AI since the 80s, and I'm one of this DARPA's first experiments with it, and looks like we got you guys. Haha, sorry. If a friend ever comes out to you, the first thing you have to say is, I'm gayer, to make it about you and remind them that who the top dog is. That's true. I feel like you gotta just like up the ante. They say they're gay, you say you're a furry or something like that. That'd be weird if I did that, yeah, and YouTube demonetized it. I don't even think they necessarily care about that, honestly. I forget exactly what they even care about. I'm not sure. I have no idea what they want, ever. They just want me dead. They want to string me up by my toes and drain me of all my loosh. I didn't dream about it, thank God, but the next morning I couldn't help but replay it all in my head. The way that shape in the headlights just stepped out, almost like it wanted me to hit it. About a week later, a detective or some investigator from the state lab called me, and it was good news, as the blood had come back as animal, with the closest match being a deer or something in that family. No missing person reports matched the area or time either, so as far as they were concerned, it was case closed. I'd done nothing more than hit an animal, and it was a mix of adrenaline and poor light that made me see something else. Now, I wanted to believe that, I really did, and I spent a long time trying to. Told myself the shape was just the flash of a deer, the front half, side on and with its head up, and that my brain filled in arms and legs because the impact freaked me out so much. And I told myself the trail was the deer dragging itself off to die in the bush. Actually, they're scrapping AI on YouTube, so you're good. Yeah, it kind of seemed like they were trying to push AI at first, but then the AI was like learning from itself. I mean, that's kind of like where AI seems to have gone with a lot of the models. I mean, I'm saying that with literally zero knowledge on it at all, but it just seems like AI training AI, so it's just like, you know, it just starts to consume itself. Like the snake in the snake's fucking tail, man. You know what I'm talking about? The Ouroboros. Thank you for being human and being my favorite and one of the very best in your industry. I love listening for years now. The AI stuff is bullshit. It's everywhere now. I love your channel. Yeah, it's like I see its uses for it, but at the same time, it's like, I don't know. As AI starts to become more prevalent, I think people, as they say, are going to value more trying to make more, I want to make more human connections. A lot of YouTube in South America who is stealing from as many YouTube content creators, and it turns out the original voice is into AI, and maybe make a profit in that way. YouTubers did report. Dude, what are you... I want to extend this to you. Listen to your voice seriously because it can and it will learn from your voice at some point. So protect your likeness now and get control. Do you know how to do that? Like, who would you even talk to? I told myself the trail was the deer dragging itself off to die in the brush. And the hiss, maybe a mountain lion or some other predator that smelled the blood and came in and started feeding already. But it doesn't sit right, not completely. I know what a deer looks like when it's caught in headlights. I've hit 2 since, smaller ones, and it's different. They're lower, they're faster, and the body rolls under or flips because of the way it's shaped. And the thing on the road that night was upright. I have no doubt about it, and the sound out there in the dark was bigger than any cat I've ever heard. I still run the stretch sometimes when the dispatch puts me on it, but you can bet you're behind I drive slower now and with my eyes locked on the shoulders. And then every so often when the radio's quiet and the road's empty and the desert feels a little darker than it should, I remember the weight of that impact and the way the blood led straight into that darkness. Copyright your likeness into a trust the way your grandbabies get paid. Oh fuck, that'd be wild. Alright. Video done. What's up, Soup? How we doing, dog? Yeah, like, is it easy to start the church? Or not the church, the fucking trust? Start a church. That'd be funny as shit. Bronson Chad Thomas, welcome to the Buttersalt Cult. You now have access to bonus content. Thank you. What's up, Flint? Alright, guys, you want to think of something funny for me to say at the end here? Please, and spank you. Hey friends, thanks for listening. Click that notification bell to be alerted of all future narrations. I release new videos every Monday and Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, and there are super fun live streams on Sundays and Wednesday nights. If you got a story, be sure to submit them over at my email, letsreadsubmissions@gmail.com, and maybe even hear your story featured on the next video. And if you want to support me even more, grab early access to all future narrations and bonus content over on Patreon, or click that big join button to hear about the extra perks for members of the channel. And check out the Let's Read podcast, where you can hear all of these stories in big compilations located anywhere you listen to podcasts. I also have a true crime channel called Saturn Soul, all links in the description below. Thanks so much, friends. And remember, give up. Soup on rice. Thanks, bro. Welcome to the Buttersuck Cult. Peace out, girls and Boy Scouts. Alright, guys. We will get this up and edited over on Patreon. It's early access over there. It's only $1 a month. And then we'll get it up on YouTube. Same time, same place. Much love to you all. I'll be back streaming. I will be back streaming. I guess Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday night. So stay tuned for that. I'll try to get the rain sounds in this video here for tomorrow. But stay cool. Don't lose your mind.